This is how we're doing the show from now on. Fucking deal with it and shit. It's like Tool Time, his buddy who lived next door.
Looking down the barrel of a gun, son of a gun, son of a bitch, getting paid, getting rich. Patton.
Welcome, friends, to another fine home episode of Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Hey!
Oh.
As we say when we're at the Scum and Villainy Cantina, which we're not tonight, sadly. No crowd. But we got a taste of the Scum and Villainy Cantina with us, as always, is Banff Man. Such
Banff.
Excellent.
I've rebuilt the entire show from the ground up to use some new Zoom technology, and all of the buttons are in different places, so I'm going to be a little bit slow. That's why we were late today. It was not Kevin and Mark's fault today. It was me.
Look at that. Look at him taking the fucking bullet. Somebody said before we went, I think it was Anthony Parkinson in chat, said, Madonna's not this late. And we all got scared. None of us want to get sued. So we started the show, even though we were ill prepared. We just fucking dove into it, and now we're here, kids. How's everyone?
We'll do it live.
Yeah. Figuring this shit out on the fly. We've got so much to play with tonight, man, to talk about, to sell. But before we do anything, we check in. How you doing, Mark?
I'm good, Kev. How are you?
So good. How you been? And Banff Man, oh, he took off. We should ask him.
It's like, you don't care how I am.
How you doing, Banff Man?
I'm good. It's been wild. You guys always have top secret projects to talk about.
Oh, I know you got
now
one.
I do, but I can't talk about it for a few months. But we talked about it after a meeting on your new movie a lot, and it's very exciting. So
This is big news that he's got, and it's cool, and we should all be happy for JC. Once he's able to share it, you're all going to be like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can we just end the show now so he can tell me? Shut it down.
You can't you mute it and he could tell you off fucking. You can text it to him right now.
I'll text him.
Text him. So he's
Fair
not,
enough.
otherwise the whole show is, what is it?
We'll get a live reaction. We'll see Mark's reaction, and then everybody can get.
That's good. Yeah, there you go. Now don't accidentally say it out loud, Mark.
Okay.
Like
right,
second baby or something.
Not a second baby.
Yeah, take that off the table, kid.
You're running for office? That's crazy.
All right. Mark got the Mark got the text. We'll see what's now. I'm eagerly awaiting.
Yeah, we're all staring.
It's coming through now, Con.
Oh, excellent reference. Excellent. Oh, respect.
Like literally though, it hasn't shown up yet.
It's on your phone text,
Okay.
not the Zoom text.
Ooh.
Right? Aren't you happy for our boy, Banff Man? No, Banff Boy now is Banff Man.
Fuck yeah, man.
Banana stand in chat goes, it's a dick pic. Can you imagine?
You're like, yeah, man, look at all these veins.
Mark was like, I've never seen a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Just because you mentioned all the veins, I'll just talk about it. No, we've been doing a lot of content for Scum and Villainy. We started a TikTok. We've been doing a lot of fun stuff on Instagram. And we have a new non-alcoholic cocktail called the True Blood Orange Margarita. And so I did a video of how to make the drink kind of, and I used the theme song from True Blood. And Jen had never seen True Blood, so we've been watching True Blood. And last night, this means nothing if you haven't seen True Blood, but we watched the episode where Sookie's brother drinks the vial of vampire blood, and the
Yeah.
whole episode is about his giant painful erection. So that's what I'm coming. What that's how I went to bed last night.
With a
That's how you're.
full erection.
Yeah. Well,
That's how you're coming to
watching
bed?
it on TV.
I was like, that's how I go to bed every night, Jake. What about you, Mark? You've been going to bed with any painful giant erections?
No, I can buff that out in about an hour. No, I've been working, man. I've been writing. I've been on the hustle and the grind, as one does. I've been finishing up this Mace Windu book, giving some sort of final coloring notes and things before the first issue drops on February 7. And we are doing a signing at Golden Apple in Los Angeles.
Put up that ad, Banff, man. The first of
Ooh.
many on-screen ads that we're going to throw in your face tonight, kid. Look at that shit. Marvelous Marc Bernardin going to Golden Apple right out here in Los Angeles.
Indeed. It's a lunchtime signing. You can just skip out of work for a little bit, come on down to the GA. I'll sign up your book.
That's smart, man.
11 to 1. You don't gotta...
Lunchtime signings? I never knew.
Yeah.
Look at that. Fucking Marc Bernardin, who sits here every week and periodically we're like, why are you doing this show? You're such a good writer. Gives away good ideas for free. Working in the Star Wars universe, kids.
Who knew?
Mace Windu book. That's kind of, and it's for Marvel as well.
Marvel and Lucasfilm, baby.
Checking 2 boxes right there.
And nobody so far has called me on shitting all over like Boba Fett or Ahsoka.
Oh, from their organization?
Yeah.
Are you scared of, is the book out yet?
No, on next Wednesday.
Are you scared of fan reaction? Having lived through MOTU season 1 with me? You know, if you don't get something right, they will let you know.
There is nothing they can do to me that hasn't already been done.
Look at you. You're so fucking seasoned. You're like a veteran of the fucking internet wars.
Hell yeah.
I am fucking over the moon this week because, as you well know, Masters of the Universe, Revolution dropped on Netflix last week, Thursday night. And to say that I was, bracing for, here comes what I went through last time. Like, I remember they sent me the trailer, the final trailer, and in it, there's a gigantic card that says from Kevin Smith. And I had a serious talk with Rob at Mattel and Ted at Netflix to be like, kids, I love you. You got to take that out. You're going to make so many people mad. They're not even going to want to watch this thing. And Teddy was like, you know what, Kevin, you did such a beautiful job of the story. Like I'm giving you your credit, whether you want it or not. Sweet sentiment. But the whole time I was like, oh no, oh no. And so when that trailer went up, there were definitely some people who were like, Kevin Smith, ew, fuck it. And now I'm definitely not watching. So, and that just, my entire career, I've had that. To say that like I was unprepared for the fucking reaction that we've gotten for this season is an understatement. It's a love fest. People like absolutely are saying the nicest things they've ever said about my work. Right now that series has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, go look at every other Kevin Smith project, see if you can find one of those and shit. It's so lovely. Like, honestly, we opened in the top 10 at number 6. I think today we're at like number 9, but it's staying alive and fucking thriving. And the fans are saying such lovely things. Naturally, I love people who are like, hey man, I was here for the last one. I'm here for this one. But it feels really good when you hear from people who are like, I did not like what you did last time. I thought you broke it. And boy, did you guys fix it and fucking like stick the landing and like, now make more. Is lovely. I have no idea what the future's ever going to fucking hold. I really don't. Because I was just prepared for like, well, here it comes again. It's going to be like last time and people are gonna be mad at me. Not at all. and they saw how much like love and effort that we put into it. So thank you everybody who's like watching the show. And everyone keeps asking, like, is there going to be more? Like, that's up to you, kids. It literally comes down to there was only a Revolution because Revelations had the numbers to support it. That was it. Like, it was, I've seen some people be like, they started Revolution when they started Revelation. There was not. Revelation was done. Everything was closed down. And we waited for the show to come out, and then we had to wait the requisite, what is it, 3 months or some such shit.
Mm.
The algorithm, it works everything out, and then they give you all the information you couldn't ask for about like how it was viewed, how many minutes of it was viewed, how many people finished all the episodes. Like it was crazy, and solely based on that, were they like, you can go forward. But what they learned from the algorithm was like, I mean, this was what they said to us, like, as they break all the information down. They're like, overall, you had too many episodes. They're like, your show needs to be 5 episodes. And so they're like, you go again, but it's got to be 5 episodes. And so we were like, all right, like fucking, we could do that. And honestly, having 5 episodes forces every choice to be like, this got to be fucking epic worthy, because we don't have that many minutes to play with. There's not that much real estate. So you're moving the story along at perhaps a more brisk pace than you would like. Maybe it'd be nice to have 1 or 2 more episodes, let it breathe, but we're playing the ball where it laid and shit. And honestly, because of that, I think that helped it. Like that made people like you always want to leave people wanting more. And overwhelmingly, people are like, I want more. When's the next round? When is the next season? Blah, blah, blah. So in that way, us being forced to like, all right, tell your story in 5 episodes instead of the luxurious 10 that we had last time. And it wasn't even like a budget thing. It was just like, I can't even share. I'm not supposed to share information like this. I get in trouble with it. But it really came down to them being like, this is what the algorithm says. Like you would have gotten everything would have worked out better if you were only 5 episodes and that was it. Like as you remember, Revelation broke in the middle of a story and then told the back end of the story. They were like, you can fix everything by making it 5 episodes. And damn it, if it didn't turn out to be accurate. I'm not gonna say it fixed everything, but like that seems to be what everyone's like, oh, it was so fast, I want more. And it's like better than, it was long in parts and I could have done without that. So, it's been lovely. I've never been on the receiving end of a mainstream thing that has been received so well. Maybe the CW episodes that I directed and shit. But, normally I do dopey ass Kevin Smith shit. So when anybody likes it, I'm like, whew. This is, playing with somebody else's toys. And it's been lovely to read people's fucking reaction. But there were many people who were like, give this guy a Star Wars. And I'm just here to tell you, no. Never in a million years. Like, give it to Mark. Mark's already in there. He makes windowing it and shit like that. No, not but I am very happy with what we did with MOTU, because we were able to fuse and we did a bit of this in Revelation, but a lot more in Revolution. Weave in so much lore from so many different creators. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's been out for a minute. But there's a main character played by William Shatner, who only came into existence not from the Filmation run, but from the Mike Young, the Productions run in 2002, and became a big part of the mythos and stuff. And so we got to play with that toy as well. And it's like anybody who steps into a world where all the storytelling has been going on for years and years, you have the luxury of like not having to do backstory. And when you do backstory, you can reference like the greatest moments or reference important moments throughout like the show's lore or the character's lore. And it's people, that's what I can't, it's 180 degrees from the last time. Like, and I know there were people that loved Revelation and they're still there today going like, I was here for the first one too, but it was drowned out by a bunch of people that did not like it at all. And that doesn't exist this time around. I'm not saying everybody loves it. There's still some people who don't go for it, but overwhelmingly it's been such a positive experience. The flip side of like kind of what I went through last time. And so that it's lovely. Thank you to everybody who's watched it and enjoyed it. And we did it, as you can see, like a fuck ton of attention and care and love. And I get a lot of credit online. Everyone's like, fucking Kevin Smith. Yes, I'll believe me. I know how deeply I'm in there and I know how important I am to it. But Teddy and Rob, like the other two fucking pillars in Preternia, I couldn't ask for better collaborators. Not only are they my bosses, but Rob has written for the DC version of Masters of the Universe. And Ted has forgotten more than most people know. He's also the voice of Gwildor. He was a huge fucking Billy Barty fan and he could imitate his voice, but he winds up playing Gwildor as well. But like, people were like, oh my God, the fucking accuracy of that one flashback moment featuring Hordak leaving the room with that bundle. And everybody's like, is that the bundle what I think it is? Of course that bundle is what. But like, they're like, oh my God, the fucking shocking accuracy, how it plays like right from the Secret of the Sword, the movie. Secret of the Sword. That kind of attention to detail comes from a longtime fan. Like Teddy poured over those flashback sequences because as a big fan of the franchise, he's like, I'll tell you what I would fucking love to see and what would make me lose my mind. So like my deck was loaded. I had two fucking titans of Masters of the Universe lore. One is invested because like, he's at Mattel for heaven's sakes. And the other's invested because like this has been his passion project from the jump. We're only getting to make these cartoons or the animated series because Teddy fought for it. He was just like, he was the one that was like, he's like, just treat him like Shakespeare. He's gone, I know there's goofy characters in there, but just for once, I'd love to see somebody treat them seriously. And that was always our idea. It was like, it's fun and fucking there's wizards and there's fights and, fucking like the deaths are heartbreaking, but not like fucking traumatizing, and into that you can weave, like you can let these characters treat each other seriously and shit like that without changing what everyone loves about it and whatnot. He just, his watchwords were like, please just treat them seriously. Like, don't make jokes about them and shit like that. Like, it's too easy. Treat them like Shakespeare. Treat it as if like Shakespeare's right now. And that's why they all talk in like this very stentorian, like fucking, I'm on the proscenium of a stage type of way. But the gestalt of all the elements that you've got to throw in Powerhouse Animation, and Pat and Adam, our directors who were there with us last season as well, did an astounding job. Like, people keep giving me credit for the transformation sequence. Like, that transformation sequence is fucking beautiful in episode 5. Like, all I wrote was, they transformed together. That's it. And Pat and Adam, like, our artists, and turned it into this beautiful, like, Sailor Moon homage that also is like fucking emotional. And then you pour Bear McCreary's genius score on top of it. Like, there were so many cooks. We had an amazing voice cast, and they all sound wonderful together, and every one of them treated it seriously. None of them came in and were like, what is this shit? And so it's a bunch of people, man. And of course, all the work of everyone who's gone before us, the Filmation show, the movie, which we pulled into canon or canonized, as they say, the Mike Young series, the comic books, like everything that ever existed. There are a lot of people online who are very sweet, who are like, you did this with He-Man, do it with ThunderCats. I couldn't, because I knew the world of Masters of the Universe. I know a lot of people online have told me that I didn't, but I did literally grow up watching this cartoon. And it was not, I didn't buy the toys because I was too grown up by then. And admittedly, as I've said before, I did a lot of mock watching where I was like, this is ridiculous. But I watched it religiously, knew their mythology. And so I got to know even more once I got the job and shit, where like suddenly I had access to the Mattel archives. And since I didn't buy the toys, I never had the mini comics and stuff like that. So it's a rich, rich tapestry. But like when somebody's like, do Thundercats, I'm not the guy. Like somebody, I couldn't do Thundercats, I couldn't do um Transformers, like none of these cartoons. I know they exist, I know people love them, and they were around when I was a kid, but I did not interact with them like I did with Masters of the Universe. Master of the Universe, I would have collected the toys, but my parents were like, no, we did this with Star Wars. We're not doing a whole other thing because we were not a wealthy family. So I'm so delighted that people are into the show. It makes me so fucking happy because again, I learned on the first season, you are playing with somebody else's toys. Be careful. And feels like, you know, second time up, everyone was like, some people are like, whew, and some people are like, now that's what I'm fucking talking about. And some people feel like, hey man, this is more of what you did in the first season. Keep it up and stuff. Regardless, very positive. So it's been blissful. Now, the big question I get online is like, do you get to go again? When's more coming? To go back to what I said, have everything to do with the algorithm. It'll have everything to do with how many people watch it. Right now, based on a comparison of the first go around, we are doing better, not just like reception wise critically, but we are in the top 10 longer than we were with Revelation. Revelation, we were there for the first day, maybe the second, but then disappeared. We're still in the top 10 right now. So that, to me, from a yeoman's point of view, says that we've started stronger. So that's a really good sign that we get to do it again. But it really comes down to how many people watch it. So if you're watching it, you're manifesting the future, kids. If you're like, I want more of that, you're just by simply watching it. And I've seen many people on social media going like, I've watched this, my 5th time watching it. All of that is wonderful and all helps. So thank you. Mark, some people have asked, Mark, who was Mark? And I said, Mark was working for Marvel at the time.
I was in Wakanda.
Yeah, he was in Wakanda. He couldn't go to fucking Eternia because he was playing around in Wakanda. These are rich people problems at that point. I was like, Mark, can you join us in MOTU? And he was like, no, I'm over at Marvel now. I'm like, fair enough.
My travel agent had me booked. It's like,
Yes.
you're going to Wakanda, champ. No more Eternia love for you. But
we can combine the two.
if there's a season 3, if you come back for Master of the Universe, I don't know, reparations, then I will be here for it.
There it is. Everyone's been wondering what the third one's going to be, and no one has said reparations yet. You had a point?
It takes like 2 years to make the show, right?
Yeah, a long time. Not because it's like, oh, it's so hard, but when you do the writing, like the writing is done like that. We had designs from season 1, but then there are, of course, new designs for new characters and updates of characters and stuff. But the boys and I believe there was a third director as well. All the heavy lifting is theirs. And it takes a long time because they got to design everything. Then they got to do the animatic stage of it. That goes through approvals you got to remember a bunch of different people. Like it comes to me for approval. It comes to Netflix for approval. It comes to Mattel for approval. I think that's it. So there's layers of yes before it can move forward and stuff. So it's not just like drawing takes time. That does. But the process of everyone going like, all right, that's it. To be fair, that process has always moved fast on MOTU because everyone involved it's not a job where they're like, oh, it's just one of 19 things I have to do. Like even Teddy, who's like, he's done Wednesday, he's done fucking Sweet Tooth, he's done the Avatar live action that's coming. Like his string of Netflix shows is fucking massive and represents current pop culture. Stranger Things was his as well. So even though he's got everything else to manage, he's one of the first people responds when he gets an animatic because he's watching it as a fan. He's just like, oh my God, I get to watch a brand new fucking Masters of the Universe cartoon. And it's, you know, in its most nascent form, pencil sketches. But like him, Rob, me, we got back fast. As soon as it comes in, we're watching it and fucking giving any notes. Now, to be fair, most of my notes are literally this. Holy fuck, that was amazing. Like that's it. I really Rob and I'm a terrible boss in as much as I'm never the guy that's pushing for more because I'm like, well, I can't do that. And that's fucking awesome. Rob and Teddy will always find a way to be like, we can improve this, we can push this up and stuff like that. So if you ask everyone at like Powerhouse how many notes I've ever given them on like art and story, you know, and like when I watch I'm the guy when I watch the pencil fucking animatic, I'm like, put this on fucking Netflix now. Like it's utterly watchable. And they're like, please let us animate it. Like, let us do our thing and shit. So yeah, those to go back to the question, JC, what was the question?
Well, so I was going to ask, if it takes 2 years to do just animate and get the approvals on the show, is there any way that there's like an amuse-bouche of a He-Man Christmas special while we wait?
Look, I never say never, but I just don't see how the timing of that would work. Like, because the moment that first off, we'd have to get that approved. And that they'd probably be like, well, we have to wait for the algorithm to come back for Revolution. So we'd be waiting anyway. But then we'd be adding work to work. The idea would be in the next season to Christmas it. Mm-hmm. We haven't really picked a season before, but it could take place at Christmas time. And if you've watched Revolution to the end, to the bitter end, you kind of like see the direction that we're headed. And Christmas, family, like these are things that like would be at home where we're going in the future. And that's all I could fucking say. But you honestly, it doesn't take a fucking soothsayer to see where we're going. By the end of the fucking episode in our post-credit sequences, we fucking telegraph where we're going. And it is very, very badass. It's very cool. So fingers crossed that we get to do it again. But honestly, if the algorithm came back and was like, nah, no, not enough people watch it, no, we're not going to do it again, I could never complain because the love that we've received for this season alone was like worth the trip. And to have people be like, oh my God, fucking like you gave me the thing that the version of this that I've been waiting for my whole life. Like all that shit is so gratifying that even if we didn't get to go again, I'd be like, it doesn't matter. We did it and people dug it and blah, blah, blah. But I honestly, like knock wood, right now things look very positive.
Yeah. I mean, a Christmas special would be awesome, but you would have had to have like, we're doing 6 instead of 5, and one of them is a special that we will drop 6 months after.
That's just like, I have such vivid memories of watching that. The OG one, like when I was like, oh God, I made 5 or 6 years old. I remember that so well. It was so exciting.
Somebody in chat said, so some contracts are signed allowing that to happen. No. There's like there's no contracts in place. I mean, you know, there's contracts in as much as like people who've returned. If we were having people return like we did with season 2, I'm sure there's some I don't see that shit. That's above my paperwork. But they don't, it's not like we're all contracted. Like we weren't contracted for season 2 with season 1. So when season 1 ended, that was it. We had to wait for it to come on. When it came on, we had to wait for the fucking algorithm. So once the algorithm came through and said, yeah, you can go again, it'll be 5 episodes, we were like, great. We had to get the whole fucking team back together. They were off doing like the boys and Powerhouse went off to do more Castlevania or fucking they do that Greek God show or something. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I was off doing fucking Clerks 3 and other things. And then when they were like, okay, we are going to go again, everyone had to pull back together. So same thing here, like we're done. And like the writers have been done forever. The voice acting has been recorded a long time ago. You know, and I can't remember the last time we even did pickups on it. Which that was like 6 months ago. So it's been put to bed for a while for everybody but the animators. Like, you know, the Powerhouse crew works until I think they, you know, delivered a few days before it went live on Netflix, because I know, you know what? Yeah, I shouldn't. We had a last minute. I'm not, you know, I'm just gonna stop. I don't want to lose this fucking job.
Just let it go.
Yeah, it's inside baseball and stuff. But there were,
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, it was done fairly recently.
The paint
And not because like the animation kids take so long or so. It's just like, you know, Bear fucking recorded his score. I guess he locked before we started the 4:30 movie. He was already done. And, you know, he composes, and then granted, he got to reuse a lot of the themes that he created for Revelation, but he created new themes. He had to create a theme for Hordak and shit like that. And he also plays the scenes. So he'll compose to the scenes. So he put in a whole new round of music. And then, you know, he composes it at home, and then he conducts it with an orchestra where he's on Zoom, and he has a full fucking like 100-piece orchestra. That's why those things sound so fucking powerful.
In Prague or whatever, is that where's our
Budapest, I want to say. But he's been working with them for so long now. He's like, when I first started working with him, because he uses them for like, he does, you know, Bear of course does Lord of the Rings on Amazon. He does Walking Dead, but the orchestral stuff he does, he tends to go big orchestra with the Budapest group, which now knows him and he knows them very well. And they're
Nice.
astounding. But yeah, I'm sorry, I'm probably talking about fucking MOTU way too much. But I'm just so nice to not have to be like, yeah, MOTU, moving on.
Giddy like a schoolgirl.
Oh, good Lord. We found a few shirts, because when we did MOTU Revelation, we did a Revelation celebration at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash. Man, throw up that t-shirt. This is by Captain Ribman. It is Jay and Silent Bob as He-Man and Skeletor. And that was the shirt that we gave out when we did that Masters of the Universe Revelation celebration. We just found like a fucking bunch of them in the warehouse.
Ooh.
So I put them up on sale earlier today. If you go to jayandsilentbob.com, you get one of them sweet shirts, kids, while supplies last. I believe there's only 40 left. There you go. Okay, that's the last thing I'll say about MOTU tonight.
Should we do an ad before we get into the rest of the fun times?
We should, because kids, we're so lucky tonight. We got a brand new sponsor, man. Please welcome to the show the good folks at Tushy. Tushy. How cute is that? Hello, Tushy. Over 3 million butts love Tushy, kids. Get 10% off Tushy with the code FATMAN at http://hellotushy.com/fatman. Hashtag Tushy Pod. And now you're sitting there going, what is Tushy? It's exactly what you're probably thinking it is.
Are you
Tushy? Let's see what they call it. Tushy is a fucking, it's an ass douche, right?
It's a bidet, as the French call it.
Absolutely. I know this because even before they joined us as sponsors, my kid, when she still lived here, and her boyfriend during the pandemic, they got a Tushy and applied it to their toilet. And so during the pandemic, I would sneak down to her bathroom when they weren't around and use the fucking Tushy because it was so good. This, like, kids, you know, you wipe your ass with toilet paper and shit. And we all know you can dig and dig and dig, but very rarely do you get every fucking piece, which means that you're sitting around with a fucking crack full of bacteria and whatnot. And then you could go with wet wipes, but oh God, that creates a fucking fatberg in the fucking sewer system and shit like that. How else to clean that filthy little asshole of yours? Do you have a filthy little asshole? Well, guess what? Tushy gonna help out, man. You sit down on this thing and you turn the dial when you're done. Little fucking bar comes out, jet sprays water straight up your asshole, man. Just water picks all the shit out every nook and cranny, man. You want to test it? Take a Thomas English muffin, put butter on it, and then fucking take Tushy and fucking just spray it back and forth. Watch all that butter. Every nook and cranny gets clean because Tushy knows how to clean the asshole, man. Tushy, I'm telling you, we all giggle and shit, but poo-poo's a part of our lives and whatnot. For a limited time, our listeners are going to get 10% off their entire order at hellotushy.com. Go to HELLOTUSHY.com and use the code FATMAN for 10% off, man. It's time to get rid of those skid marks once and for all, my friends. Mark, you got any experience with the Tushy like I do?
I mean, listen, I thought you might have needed like an age gate for a Tushy because it sounds intimate.
Very.
It sounds like you're going for it, but hey, man, like it stays clean and hygienic with its patented self-cleaning smart spray. The nozzle self-cleans before and after each use automatically. The build-up resistant design helps to minimize grime buildup and even has antimicrobial knobs, which also sounds dirty. The bidet stays clean just like your booty. Every Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. It's risk-free to join over 3 million real pooping humans who have made the switch to a cleaner and more confident butt.
I'm all for talking more about this. You know, everyone's like, oh, fuck, I don't want to talk about assholes and shit. It's time. Look, the more we talk about assholes, the more we confront the assholes, the better life will be and shit. And the first asshole you ever got to confront is your goddamn own. Start in your own backyard and shit. Literally in your own backyard and whatnot. Keep that asshole clean as a whistle. You can do it with Tushy. You don't even have to touch it yourself. No more fucking like, oh, my fingers went through the toilet paper and shit like that. Tushy just sandblasts your asshole clean, man, in the most pleasant way.
These pipes are clean.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking when a Tushy's done, as it pulls back in, you hear the voice of the lady from Poltergeist going, this ass is clean. Voice not guaranteed as a part of it.
No.
What are you waiting for, man? Fucking toilet paper is bad for the environment. With Tushy, use 75% less toilet paper. The whole bidet stays clean and shit with its patented self-cleaning smart spray. And it comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and 12-month warranty. So you can use this shit for a month. Literally clean your asshole for a month and be like, I don't want it anymore. And you'll send it back and they'll be like, we'll take it. Thank you. Thanks for trying. It's got 12-month warranty, man. It's risk-free. Join over 3 million real pooping humans, as Mark said, who've made the switch to a cleaner, more confident fucking butt. Get the fresh out of the shower feeling at hellotushy.com. Fun to say. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off your entire order when you use the code FATMAN, all one word, at checkout. That's 10% off your order at hellotushy.com with the promo code FATMAN. It's time to back that ass up with confidence. Not a line that I wrote, they wrote. I appreciate their copy is naughty. They're like, look, you know what our business is? Assholes. So we're going to be frank about it.
You're fine looking woman. Why don't you back that ass up? Say you look good. Would you back that ass up?
We thank the good folks at Tushy for fucking sponsoring this episode of Fat Man Beyond. We here at Fat Man Beyond, we co-sign a clean asshole. We'll literally do it for you if you spread your cheeks. You come to the live show. And speaking of live shows,
nice.
Banff man, throw up that piece of artwork advertising a very special event at Smodcastle Cinemas in New Jersey, based around Marc Bernardin. Oh my God, I held out as long as I could. There it is, kids. The Ides of Marc have returned, man. What's the date we're doing it?
March 15th and 16th. The legit Ides.
The legit Ides. It starts off with a double feature on Friday night, man. That's Fat Man Beyond. Me and Fat Man Beyond live. It'll be streamed. You can watch it on the internet and whatnot. And then afterwards, we're having a secret screening. Can't say what it is, but Look at that artwork.
We can't say what it is, but dig, if you will, a picture.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We can't say what it is, kids, but you come to Smodcastle on fucking March 15th. Let's go crazy. Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts?
No, not
Come
that.
on. It's not that.
Although there's a tangential connection in a weird way. So anyway, on March 15th, we're doing Fat Man Beyond at night, and we're following Fat Man Beyond immediately with a free secret screening.
Yes.
A very cool Friday night movie that everyone's gonna. It'll make people as happy as if they were masturbating with a magazine. That's right, the Ides of Marc. And then the next day on March 16th, we're going to do 2 more movies, man. Mark is showing at 12:30 Blade.
Yep. The OG.
Clock Doomsday.
Doomsday. And if you've never seen Doomsday, you owe it to yourself to see Doomsday. Because Doomsday is a different movie every 20 minutes, and every one of those movies is a movie that you love. It's like, ooh, do I love 28 Days Later? Excellent, it's here. Do I love Escape from New York? Excellent, we got there. Do I love The Road Warrior? For shizzle. Do I love Excalibur? Absolutely. And so you can just take a fucking daisy chain tour through genre confections, all in the same movie. It's
gonna be
so much fun.
Fun pair of days, kids. Come Friday night, March 15th, Saturday, March 16th. We're celebrating the Ides of Marc, man. Come see us do Fat Man Beyond at Smodcastle Cinemas. One of our greatest shows we ever did, I think, was like the last time we did it at Smodcastle Cinemas.
So
Great vibe, great crowd. Come on out and join us. Tickets right now at smodcastlecinemas.com or csmod.com. And what else, before we dive into the news, what are the other things, JC? I sent JC
you got the bendies.
Oh, yeah. Throw up that major bendies, man. It sounds like I got like something like an old timey disease. Like you got the shingles, you got the bendies.
You've been diving too much.
The major wrestling podcast is doing these major bendies of Jay and Silent Bob, man. So you can have Jay and Silent Bob fighting fucking Sergeant Slaughter, and Sergeant Slaughter beating both of us, pinning both of us, if you will. Throwing us outside of the ring. They're like the old wrestling bendies, man. They look like that. So they're doing custom order. You can order up to February 5th, man. Go to majorbendies.com to get those. Hey, Cruise Askew is coming up 26 days from now, man.
24 days.
Yeah, what is it?
24 days.
Wow, 24 days, man. Join us on the high seas. It's me. It's Jay, it's Marc Bernardin, it's Ralph Garman, it's Andy McElfresh, it's Brian O'Halloran, it's Jeff Anderson, it's Jason Lee, it's Ethan Suplee, it's oh shit, the list goes on, man. Trevor Furman, Elias is gonna be there, Jennifer Schwalbach Smith. It's good times, kids. This is our first cruise, man. We're going to read the original Clerks 3 script, the really sad one. And you're like, there was a sadder version of Clerks 3? Oh, yeah. I was going through some shit. And then we're going to read the Mallrats 2 script. You know, it's going to be a good-ass time. Ming was just on the Impractical Jokers cruise with Brian Quinn, our friend Brian Quinn. And we're doing it with the same company, Sixth Man. Ming was like, oh, my God, it was so much fun. You guys are going to have a blast. So Ming, I think, might be coming on our cruise as well. But that's happening soon. Tickets, kids, at cruiseaskew.com if you want to join us, man. Then let's see what else we got. Oh, this weekend, Thursday. Yeah, look at this. Never mind this weekend. We'll do that. We made a huge announcement yesterday. Chronicon, kids. There's actually going to be a real-life Chronicon, man. Thanks to the good folks at Astronomicon, who we met when we did the Astronomicon show back in June. They were like, why don't you have your own con? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, why don't you have KevCon? I'm like, fucking, it makes no sense. And I was like, well, KevCon seems a little fucking arrogant. But like, if you're telling me that you would like to do a real life Chronicon, like, you know, being able to make shit from my stupid ass movies come true in real life. Oh my God. Like, what a treat. And we built Chronicon. So it's happening in October. It's going to be in Chicago, Illinois. Some people are like, why not Jersey? Chicago's easier for both coasts to get to. Also, we have a very nice Illinois fan base, thank the Lord. But also we're doing it at a place that's very sentimental favorite to us. We went to the Wizard World convention at the Rosemont Hyatt Regency for years, me and Jay. So when we were talking with the Astronomicon kids about where to go, they're like, yes, of course, starting in Jersey makes sense, but like you have the theater there. Like it feels like we're going to try this. Let's try it out in a market that's not necessarily geared to. Let's try Chicago. And I was like, can we do it at the Hyatt Regency where we went to the fucking Wizard World every year and fucking the Beatles com was happening at the same time and shit? And so that's where we're having it. So it's a sentimental favorite to us. We haven't announced anybody but me and Jay, but like the guest list is fucking nuts. We're celebrating both the 30th anniversary of Clerks and Tusk as well. So, and plus a bunch of other things, but it's basically going to be like the cruise, but on land. 3 days in Chicago. Well, out on the outskirts of Chicago, you fly in O'Hare. That fucking hotel is like 5 minutes down the road, man. It's going to be a good ass time. And if it works, then we'll take it to the West Coast, to the East Coast, and everywhere else, man. Chronicon, straight from the frames, digital frames of Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Chronicon happening in real ass life. Tickets tickets at chroniconforreal.com. FOR for real. And then this weekend, this week, Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna be on the radio again. Last week I took over for Gary and Shannon. They were off on Thursday and Friday at KFI AM 640 in Los Angeles, but everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And so they're gone again this week. And they asked, "Hey man, you want to come in and take over?" Guys, fuck yeah. Somebody asked me like, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Because I don't live far and I love the sound of my own voice." So those are the only two qualifications that I need to be asked to do a thing, and I did it.
If you want to book Kev for a thing.
Somebody asked, "Aren't you getting paid?" I'm like, "No. Should I?" I never even thought to ask about money. I thought it was cool that they let me take over the radio for a day.
I mean, it is AM radio. Like, if there was money in AM radio, there'd be lots more people doing AM radio.
There's money in AM radio, and I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it, and I'm going to share it with you. One day, you're going to be sitting there going like, "I can't believe we got rich at AM radio." I'm like, yes!
Because nobody else was here. It's just right.
Dude, everyone went to podcasting. I went to podcasting in 2007. Now the whole fucking world is in podcasting. Everyone abandoned radio. Now's the time to run back, take over. Nobody's there. They left the lights on. The mics are on. Let's fucking go.
They didn't even lock the doors. They didn't even think anybody would want it.
Exactly. FM, maybe they locked one of their doors. AM left the doors wide open. So I went in and hung out, and it was a blast, dude, because I've always loved radio, and I was like, holy shit. Like, this is the life. Would have been fucking amazing for me. I'm like, doing film is like telling any visual story. For me, it's not my first language. Like, it's almost like learning Spanish, taking high school Spanish, and then trying to go to Spain and pass, as somebody who's fluent and shit. Like, but talking like this shit, oh God, I've been doing that since like fucking I started talking. I've been practicing my whole life. That I could do without fucking it up, relatively speaking. So I've been having fun with it. I'll go back anytime they ask me. But don't you fucking poo-poo AM radio money. There's gold in them AM radio hills. I promise you.
There's always money in the AM radio stand.
Yes. Someone in Sinful Hands in chat says, "I'm here because of AM radio." There you go. We did an informal poll at Babylon the other night. We did a Babylon show. If you want to watch it, it's right here on youtube.com/Kevin Smith. But on Saturday night, we did Babylon at Flappers. And there was, while I was there, I was like, hey, man, fucking like, because we, on the Monday of that week, the Monday before that Friday, we were at only 86 tickets sold. And then by Saturday showtime, we were sold out. So, and we sold out the night before. So I was like, that has to be me sitting on AM radio, KF out talking about, hey man, fucking, we're doing a show right down the street. I kept throwing to it every hour. So in the room, I was like, hey man, just want to do an informal poll. How many people are here tonight because they heard me on KFI AM? Literally 3 people clapped out of 200.
It's like, do I have a radio in my car?
It was crazy embarrassing because I really thought that I had fucking cracked the code and shit. And Ralph was like, how many people here because the Ralph report? And the whole fucking audience winds up applauding, and I was like, well, never mind. Perhaps AM radio doesn't have as much reach as I thought it did, but I'm still happy to sit in and do it.
Did anybody here get my telegram? Oh, I sent one to everyone. Please come.
Oof. But I've had a good time doing it. So
Excellent.
yeah, kids, Thursday and Friday, you can listen if you got an iHeartRadio app. You don't even have to be in Los Angeles. I asked them, I was like, who listens to AM radio? They're like a shocking amount of people. And I was like, what, like in their cars? And they're like, well, yeah, some people listen in their cars while they're driving. But she was like, we're on the iHeart app and iHeart app, and KFI is really like high up there, like either number 3 or sometimes number 1.
Wow.
So I was like, what? Why? And she's like, this is Los Angeles. Like talk radio in Los Angeles, one of the biggest cities in the world. I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just never thought about it before. So
and it's also always on in nursing homes. Like that's the station that they just leave on.
Who do you think I'm trying to turn a Jay and Silent Bob fan, fucking Mark? Like I lost the youth. Now I'm going for the elderly and shit.
Who loves cruises? Senior citizens.
Exactly. Now you see. Now you're getting it. You know who's comfortable in this world, not worrying about paying bills and shit? Seniors. They get security checks, man. They got to be entertained. It's me or fucking, it's not unusual to be loved by anyone. If he's
Alfonso Ribeiro.
No. Yeah, man. Look, I'll take. I don't give a shit. Here's the thing. Here's the upside of maybe it is an old audience, Mark. Maybe it is on nursing homes and shit like that. Here's the good news. None of those people have heard all my jokes or material before. So I got 30 years worth of Clerks jokes, Mallrats jokes, Chasey Gamey jokes that I can pull out parade for this brand new audience. And they'll be like, oh, he's such a charming young man.
I mean, listen, I've gotten my first AARP emails. Like the minute I think you hit the 50, once that clicks over, suddenly like, hey man, you want some insurance? Hey man, you want to
Look, I refuse to accept my old age. Adolescent till I die. But I'll tell you right now, I feel like AM, and maybe I'm just trying to manifest this, but I feel like AM is a little more punk rock than FM radio.
AM radio is the dude who rolls up on the Starbucks and pulls out his Smith Corona and sets it on the table and starts hammering away at his keyboard.
Who don't love that fucking guy, Mark? Everyone loves that
guy. He's my favorite.
Oh, good God. In any event, tune in Thursday, Friday. What are you doing Thursday or Friday? Want to come in on the radio?
In the mornings?
When is the signing of Golden Apple?
Next Wednesday.
Fucking doesn't matter. Come in this Thursday or Friday. I'll hook you up with Mondo, the producer and shit. Come in, promote. If you're in town, I don't want to pressure you into something. You can also, when does Splinter go wide? Let's talk about
Splinter goes wide on Friday. We flip it live to the internet.
Bro, I can introduce you to the poem of AM radio. Do you know who reads Mace Windu comics? People in senior communities. That's who buys Mace Windu comics.
It's a Jedi for me.
But you should tell me what day when we're done. Thursday or Friday, roll up, man. You can even call him, but rolling up makes you feel fucking cool.
And it's right around the corner from your house.
It's you know where it is? You know where the Whole Foods is in the Valley?
Yeah.
Like in Burbank, right next door to Warner Brothers.
Okay.
That's where it is. Where we went to strike and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's in that plaza where the Mortons is.
Yes, that I know.
All right, so fucking you come on, you'll legitimize that shit. You can talk about Mace Windu, you can fucking sell it, make sure you restock the what's the t-shirt?
Oh, I don't even know if they have that for sale anymore.
Speak softly, but let motherfuckers know. What is it?
Be humble, but let motherfuckers know.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on the show. JC, hey, Banff, man.
Banff.
So last time I was on, we had the woman who created and runs Sugar Taco, because they love doing a fucking local business person segment. We got to do fucking Scum and Villainy, man.
I'll come on. I get up early. I got a kid.
You know what I'm saying? This is why this radio thing makes so much sense for me. I don't have to do the work. I bring in a friend, bring in another friend. I can talk about shit.
I just love that you're recycling the Kevin Smith business plan for a different medium.
You see so fucking clearly, my friend. All that podcasting that since 2007 was just dress rehearsal for our futures in AM radio.
Oh, the power of amplitude modulation.
Exactly. Same place you go for hurricane news, weather, traffic. That's where you're going to find this little fucking face right here.
Is there an earthquake happening? No, Kevin Smith's on the air.
That's right. Congo Kids Club is saying this is not good. We should move on from this subject.
Oh no, this is great.
I am humbly rebuked. He's tired of hearing us talk about old man AM radio. Time to talk about something new and fucking shit.
Welcome to my newsletter.
Yeah.
Which is like a pamphlet I'm handing out at the mall, but it's email instead.
What news do we have?
Even before we do the news, I've seen some shit in the world. Are you up to date on True Detective Night Country?
I have watched all 3 episodes of True Detective: The Thing.
Yes. How are you feeling about True Detective: The Thing?
There's only 4 episodes left, so they better get cracking.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said that they're tying it in with the first season
Of the OG True Detective. I mean, I think the whole like the spiral
swirly thing, right? That was
the symbol of Carcosa, I think is what it was, and
it's apparently they're telling either a scientific or a supernatural story or a scientific supernatural story. I got Max, I got HBO, I'm already paying for it, so it's no skin off my ass, and it's well made. And I'll watch Jodie Foster do anything. And who's the other lady? She's fantastic.
Callie Reese, I think her name is. I think this is her first ever thing.
Wonderful. I'm also interested in like I don't want people to be like, what? How can you compare this to Miss Marvel? But it's a look into a culture that I had never looked into or seen into before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember in Miss Marvel, we were like, holy shit, man, fucking who knew? Like, we literally went into another cultural world. Same thing here. Like you're in the midst of them telling a story, they're taking you into a completely different world that I've not seen represented in movie after movie after movie. And so on that level, it's really interesting. And it's also cool to see them casting a bunch of veritable unknowns, like who are authentic to the cult. Some shit is the body tangle totally calls to mind The Thing, but these cats weren't all fucking one fused together. They're just all frozen together and slowly thawing out. Horrifying moment. I think was it the end of 1 or in 1 when fucking the dude wakes up? He's like, ah!
Yeah. I think it's either 1 or 2. Where suddenly he starts screaming. Yeah.
That fucked me up hardcore. And then they go back to him in episode 3 and he's in the hospital and he has a fucking moment where spoilers if you haven't seen any of this before, because we're obviously talking about details here, but there's a moment where he does something supernatural before he goes back to just this horrifying screaming man, like who's lost limbs and fucking his eyes he tried to claw out and fucking it's that was horrifying, where it's just like holy shit.
Yeah, but he's got that like Father Karras moment.
Yeah. Yes. That's a great reference.
Yeah, it is fucking horrifying.
Yeah.
I
think they're doing a good job being scary. I mean, look, it's definitely scarier than season 2, except how season 2 is like, it's scary how this is not season 1. And 3, I feel like it's scarier than that. There's more opportunity for horror in the 40 Days of Night world that they're telling the story. Plus you start adding stuff like she's awake and fucking ghosts walking in the darkness. Like, it's doing a good job scaring.
Yeah. I mean, it's all unsettling, right?
Yes.
Like
unnerving. Yeah.
The atmosphere, given that yeah, the sun never rises for 30, 40 days, whatever that is like from the jump disorienting. Like there's people talking about having pancakes and it's dark out, and people talking about like, oh, it's lunchtime and it's dark out, like it's just always dark, and that like removing that level of temporal awareness is kind of freaky. The murder, crime, murder stuff is like, all right, clue trap. I get it. I understand it. But for me, it's working on this level of bring me into a world that I don't know, which is namely like fucking out in the middle of nowhere, Alaska, plus indigenous Alaskans, plus um, like a mining town on the edge of the world. Like it's all just very, very interesting and dense. And the director Isa Lopez is doing a wonderful job of just like hitting you with these images that show you how weird and wonderful this kind of world is. And yeah, I'm fucking here for Jodie Foster, man. Like I just it's kind of easy to forget because she doesn't work that often. Just how fucking great she is.
We're
You
talking
know?
about somebody who's been working since she was what, 7, 8 years old,
Yeah.
and you could tell, like this is a lifer who knows how to just even do something as simple as put groceries away on camera, make it look believable and natural. Like they're just a different breed apart, the actors, especially ones who've been doing it for decades, because they make such insanely natural choices that it would never occur to me to even ask for in a scene, or if I was in the scene, do myself. And she's one of those people where it's just like she's forgotten more about the craft than most people will ever fucking know because she's been doing it since she was a kid. You want to talk about 10,000 hours of practice, never mind the fact that she has a fucking Academy Award. She's just one of the greats, man.
Two.
Big year for her. That and Naiad as well, right?
Yeah. And I remember I was listening to an interview with Issa Lopez, the writer, director, showrunner, who said that, the dream of all dreams was to get Jodie Foster. And then Jodie read the script and wanted to have a meeting. And at that meeting, Jodie was like, I really want to play an asshole. Can you make Danvers more of an asshole? Like, no redeeming qualities. She's prickly to everybody she meets. She lies all the time. Like she's an unreliable narrator. Like, just go fucking hard. And the director was like torn between her desire for it to be Clarice Starling, because I think that's everybody's kind of desire, and just make her an unrecognizably unrepentant douchebag. And the fact that that's what Jodie wanted to do was fascinating. And she's
Uh,
leaning into it.
I don't know if Hank Hills says in chat, the ghost walking in the darkness that led the old lady to the bodies,
Mhm.
who is called Travis Cole. That's the name she keeps talking about. Travis took me there. Travis Cole is the father of Rust Cole, Matthew McConaughey's character from True Detective season 1.
Yeah, I mean, I think in season one, McConaughey, like Rust, does say that his dad lives in Alaska or something to that effect. Um,
And Hank Hills fucking just also fed us a big. I never made that connection. Never
yeah,
would.
I
Didn't remember that far back.
I didn't either. Like, I also saw that somebody was connecting these dots on the internet because, like, not to say it's easy to do, but when there's opportunities to be like, how can we connect these two worlds and make it feel like a coherent thing? Just like, yeah, all right, we're gonna have this old man character. You all right, JC?
Yeah, JC, we keep hearing you. Are you jerking off? I think we heard you come.
Weird.
Bam, man. Are you in the
my
bathroom?
mic is not on, so why are you hearing me?
We heard you. You were like, oh.
Yeah.
I was
Weird.
like, look, we all like True Detective, but fucking keep it.
Oh,
I was clearing my throat. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well,
good to know.
Yeah, it's totally good watch, man. Where do you think it's going? More scientific or more sci-fi or more supernatural?
It seems like this is a world in which like the supernatural exists to people. That this is a thin spot between realities, between the afterlife and the current life. I think it's one of those shows where there will be a scientific explanation, like these guys drilling into the core of the earth, into the deep ice flows, looking for ways to stop death. Could release some ancient fucking biohazard, right? Like some spore of a plant that's been extinct for a billion years. And that's what's making people do weird shit. That's what's making people see weird shit. That's what's making people, it's affecting them in a neurotoxin kind of way. And so they're scared and they run out into the cold. All of that shit could be a scientific explanation. Or,
Go ahead.
or, yeah, it's fucking ghosts. It's the dead is coming back to haunt.
Skate Alex 2 in chat has an interesting take. It might also be mental delusion. Apparently, the water is toxic, which they have been telling us in the background of the story. And so maybe it's that. Maybe they all got fucking poisoned by this fucking horrible water.
Yeah. And you see Jodie fall, you see Danver go to wash her hands, and suddenly all of the water is like gray and inky because the mind is fucked with everything. But yeah, no, I dig it. I'm on board. I'm here for it. I also saw, and I mentioned this to you earlier today, this new documentary on Netflix called The Greatest Night in Pop.
Because you said that, I watched it.
What did you think of it?
Fantastic. Netflix, I mean, 2 for 2 in terms of the random music documentaries that I clicked on. Like a couple months ago, I clicked on the Wham documentary one night.
So good.
Unbelievably fucking good, where I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, not only do I know literally every song, but like, this is great. Like, footage of them at their peak, and they both seem to really like each other, and there was no like fucking like bitter war. It's just like and one encouraged the other to grow as a music producer, and not just a songwriter, but making music without Wham. Like it was fantastic. So that was the last music documentary I watched on Netflix, high bar. This thing matched it in terms of like, holy fuck, look at this footage. Look at all this fucking behind the scenes footage from something that we've seen our entire lives over and over again. But it's almost as if somebody moved the camera this way and you got to see the rest of the picture. So you're seeing like all the backstage stuff. You see Waylon Jennings leave.
Like, I ain't singing in no Swahili. He just bounces.
And you see a current day Sheila E. talk about like feeling like they were just kind of using me to get to print. So
that stuff was heartbreaking, man.
That really broke my heart, man. I was like, oh my God. Because I was always happy to see Sheila E. in the chorus of We Are the World. I mean, I was massive, and we still remain a massive Sheila E. fan. But to hear her say like that she felt that way and then left. I mean, at the same time, not everyone got a solo and stuff. But she did say at the end, she was like, look, I'm honored to be involved. Watching Michael Jackson do stuff that I've never seen him do on camera before. In as much as like create a song, well, right there, of course, open for all sorts of interpretation. There's a lot of things that I ever saw Michael Jackson do on camera before. Compose a song like just by, and it was interesting as fuck. Lionel Richie was like, he couldn't play any instruments. So for him, it was all like, and he would sing every musical part. But Lionel Richie, I could see why Lionel Richie was like, can we please make this documentary? Because essentially this documentary is about the busiest day that Lionel Richie ever had in his life. You could make a whole fiction narrative, a whole movie about this one day where he is essentially hosting the American Music Awards, at which he sweeps and wins a bunch of awards himself. And when the show is over, he literally goes down the street from my fucking house to right across the street where we used to have an office. What used to be the Chaplin Studios and then was A&M Records back in the day. I've always known it as the Henson Studios. I don't know what it is now. But we had one.
Still is.
Is it still Henson? We had one of the bungalows there at one point. I had no idea that's where they fucking recorded We Are the World and shit. And he got them all together over the course of a night until like 5, 6 in the morning and recorded that fucking song. While they're recording the song, they're also shooting that music video, which we all fucking saw. It's mind-bending how busy that dude was that day, and he got it all done. That I could see that guy going, can somebody please make a documentary about this? Like, I guess We Are the World happened, but it like a lot happened that day.
And then watching all the Quincy Jones stuff and the Huey Lewis stuff I think was my favorite because Huey always felt like he's just like, why is he here?
Huey was all of us. We saw Huey Lewis in We Are the World. We were like, there am I. Like, that's who I would be at that place. Like,
yeah.
I can't
I
believe
mean, the only other avatar for the normal person is Dan Aykroyd, who's also fucking there. And you're like,
which I thought about, and for the first time today, understood Dan Aykroyd was a gold record, multi-platinum record, or whatever the highest fucking record sales you could get for the Blues Brothers. So he wasn't there like, I'm Dan Aykroyd. He's half of the fucking Blues Brothers. And it wasn't that long after we'd lost Belushi, or I think maybe 2 years after Belushi died. But that makes sense. That never, like, I was never against it, but I was like, oh, I guess Dan Aykroyd wasn't busy that day. Well, of course they would have him. He was fucking like literally a bankable music star. So I think
the
Blues Brothers were huge.
They were huge, but nobody could be like, you know what, man? Blues Brothers, they wrote so many great original songs. They went on to a long in history. You know, it's like there's Springsteen and then there's the Blues.
True. But let's be fair, LaToya Jackson was also there.
I mean, I think like she and Rebe and whoever else showed up were just like driving Michael.
Tino was there as well. You know what's really weird is that LaToya's there, but Janet's not. And 1 year later, you couldn't miss Janet Jackson because that's when Control drops and she becomes huge, as big as her fucking brother, almost. Yeah. Eventually gets to be as big as Michael.
But there's that great, like, the wide shot of the entire, like, the chorus of everybody, and Michael's over here, and the rest of his it's all the way over there.
Yeah.
But the craziest thing was, like, every now and again, like, we all know that song so fucking well, even if we haven't heard it in, like, 25 years, like, we know it. And so every now and again in that documentary, you would encounter the version of a lyric that's in the song, right? It's like the Cyndi Lauper stuff. Like, she's like doing 3 or 4 test runs of it, and then she does the fucking thing, and you're like, there it is. That's the one that made the cut. That's the one that's in the song. And it's kind of insane. It's kind of
I was doing that too. Spot the moment where it's like, oh, there's the real reading of that line.
Yeah. But fucking poor Huey.
Wuxing in chat says, We Are the World idea was taken from Feed the World that Bob Geldof did first in the UK. Yeah, they talk about that in the documentary.
Yeah. They have Bob Geldof there.
Bob Geldof comes in and tells them, we did this, right? And then gives them a very rousing speech and shit. Yeah, they don't hide that. There's nothing, there's not a lot of warts here. Like, that was the one thing, like, Jen and I were watching it, and we were talking about, it's 1985. It's some of the biggest music stars in the world. How much coke is in that room? It's 2 a.m. They're still recording. Like,
yeah, like Al Jarreau is the only one who's a little inebriated. Like,
I thought that was a little scandalous that they really threw Jarreau under the bus, where they're like, well, he was celebrating before we even fucking finished the song, and wine's coming in and going out. But what are the like? That was the one thing I was like, nobody's going to talk about, like, they were anybody doing drugs. Not like it would have mattered, but it's like, how the fuck is everyone still awake 4 or 5 in the morning? Bob Geldof's speech certainly helps because he really galvanized everyone in the room by telling them,
guys, all these children are dying.
Yes.
Now you have to sing a song. And there's like, Stevie wants to do it in African. Like, no, Stevie.
How adorable was he, though? Like,
he's great.
Stevie Wonder was like playful and fucking puckish. And there's something he did. Where he sang for Bob Dylan as Bob Dylan. And they were like, Stevie is an excellent mimic. So he sang in Dylan's voice to Dylan to show him what to do in the song. So he was like, it's true, we make a breath. It's you. And it was me. Fucking Stevie Wonder singing, like, almost like making fun of Bob Dylan. Like, this is what you sound like. It's you to make a bet. And Bob was like, I get it. And went and fucking sang it. That shit, like, holy fuck. I really felt like I was a fly on the wall for some magic there.
And also Stevie Wonder walking Ray Charles to the bathroom. I know the way.
That was hysterical. Yeah, and somebody was like, somebody literally said out loud, "That is literally the blind leading the blind." And when they were singing, oh, it was really heartwarming when like Harry Belafonte, they were done with the chorus and he was going to leave, and they shouted him out. They were like, Harry Belafonte. And then what seems like Al Jarreau led a breakout rendition of Deo, Deo, and everybody sang along, like serenaded Harry Belafonte with his song. The biggest musicians, biggest rock stars, the biggest acts in music at the time were all singing. And Stevie Wonder made up a lyric about like him and Ray driving. Where he was like, get in a car with me and Ray behind the wheel or something like that. It was really like adorable. But shit like that was like, what? We never saw that. How beautiful, how human, and how long they recorded into the wee hours of the morning. It is called what? The Greatest Night.
The Greatest Night in Pop.
Greatest Night in Pop. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah. I mean, there's also that bit. I mean, it reminded me so much of what the vibe is like in the green room of a comic book convention.
Yeah.
Where like once you remove kind of the trappings of prestige and the elevation of station and all that stuff, everybody's a nerd for something. And so for like Diana Ross to want to get like Cyndi Lauper's autograph, and then suddenly they're all signing each other's fucking sheet music. Suddenly it's this big love fest of like, Springsteen getting to talk to, Billy Joel. It's like, yeah, man, we're just right across the bridge, getting to talk to Belafonte, getting to talk to whomever. Like they were all just kids, playing with its theater camp. They all just happened to be the biggest music stars on the planet. It's kind of wonderful.
They Prince not being there. And Prince was like, I want to come in and do a guitar solo. And they're like, it's not the spirit of the thing. So he didn't come in and whatnot. But they also talked about shit like they wanted David Byrne, but he was on tour.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted Van Halen, but they were on tour. I had no idea it was recorded the same night as the American Music Awards. That makes sense. Everyone was in town in one place, one time. Mm-hmm. Fascinating. What do you got, Bev, man?
I was going to say, I have a Van Halen related story to the We Are the World, which is neither here nor there. But once upon a time, the guy who cleaned your turtle cage was looking for a videographer, and you gave him my number. He also cleaned the turtle cages at Henson, where that was recorded. So I went in with him on a Sunday afternoon for hours and set up like 100 GoPros to tape him in a Hot for Teacher drumming instructional video in that room. Which
that's Turtle Mike. He is a drummer.
Yeah. So we recorded for hours Hot for Teacher in that room, but it was, even at the end when I was walking out of there, you just felt how, like the bodies that had been in that place, you feel the weight of that, how incredible that room is and how historic that is. So I got to hang out and record Hot for Teacher in that room.
That's nuts. I've never been in that room. I've been over to the Henson Studios, but I've never been on a stage there. And I'm sure if I was, somebody might have been like, what happened here? But I've lived up the block from there since 2002 and had no idea that's where the other world was recorded. It's crazy.
Yeah. They're like, everybody got hungry at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So we got Roscoe's chicken and waffles. So it's like fucking Roscoe's.
I loved when, especially like I've lived out here long enough. I've lived out here since 2002. And even before that, I fucked with Los Angeles ever since, fucking Clerks got picked up. So seeing the old footage, like seeing the old Rock and Roll Ralphs on Sunset or Hollywood Sunset. Which one's it on? Maybe it's on Hollywood.
Sunset.
I forget.
Sunset.
Was fucking cool. Like, holy shit, everything else is gone. The Ralphs is still fucking there and the sign is different. Dopey shit like that. But all the rest.
We may.
Did I drop out?
Let's see. No, you're on. I'm on. Kevin dropped for a second. He's back. We're back.
And I'm hardwired in.
It may have been a Zoom issue. You're back. We're good.
Yeah, it's telling me my
Excellent.
internet was unstable, but I am hardwired
Weird.
in. What the fuck? Anyway,
Cool.
what else we got?
We can do some news, my friend. We can news it up.
Let's news it up, man. Somebody said Anthony Zapata said I looked like Free Jack for a second there.
Max headroom. So yes, there's some casting news this week. People coming in to superhero movies and people coming out of superhero movies.
Okay.
Person coming in, James Gunn, has found his Supergirl for the upcoming feature.
Melissa Benoist?
Alas, no,
She
it
don't
is
want to
not.
do it no more. She's already done it.
I mean, I remember listening to Christopher Eccleston talking about whether he'd come back as Doctor Who, come back for another Doctor Who unit. He's like, you don't walk in the same river twice. He's like, I did it, I've done it. To come back to do it would be diminishing returns.
He talked about doing, Night Country. What's it called? Detective Night Country. And he said, like, it's a small part. Normally I would have said no to it, but the chance to work with like my hero, Jodie Foster, was what made me do it. I thought that was charming as hell because they both look old in the show. And that's not a knock. I'm not going like they're old. I mean, of course they're, if I'm 53, they're older than me. But that being said, to see somebody who's that old and who's been that accomplished in their field be like, oh, I'm a big Jodie Foster fan. It's kind of like fucking sweet. Like,
Yeah,
it makes you go like, oh my God, even though he's Doctor Who, he's not that much different than me. He also likes Jodie Foster.
yeah. I mean, I remember being at a convention in the UK, and the big guest on the top of the bill. We were both there to do a Fat Man in London, and Cumberbatch was the big guest. And I remember being in the green room where he was nervous as fucking hell to meet John Cleese. He was just like a cat who like walked next to a fan. Like he was just like, I don't know, what do I say? Like do I walk silly? Do I do the thing? Like I don't. And just watching him like shake his hand, just I'm the hugest fan in the world. Thank you for everything. Like it's just everybody's a fan of something, and so for Eccleston to be like, yeah, man, like I wouldn't ordinarily want to go to Iceland to shoot in a bunch of days of night, but
that where they're shooting that? That show,
yeah,
they shot it in Iceland?
in Iceland, yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
not sure why.
yeah,
I
it's like,
mean,
why Alaska too far?
I mean, if I had to guess, it's just because Alaska might be a little too developed in a certain way. Like you just don't get those broad like tundras up
Right.
there anymore, or in a way that's close enough to a production hub to be able to shoot. But I think that maybe Reykjavik, maybe something up there has just the vibe they were looking for.
Okay.
But yeah, so at any rate, it is not Melissa Benoist going back to be Supergirl. It is House of the Dragon actress Millie Alcock.
Who is she on that show?
She played the young Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen in the first season of House of the Dragon.
Speaking of which, this is going to sound a little name droppy, but George R. R. Martin just texted me a few hours ago.
Oh, what do you say? I'm looking for a word, Kev.
He goes, can you help me finish this book so everyone gets up? He said that right now he has his own movie theater as well, the Jean Cocteau movie theater, the Jean Cocteau Theater in New Mexico. And he came to Smodcastle last year, and I was supposed to go to his place, and then I went into the Nut House. So he's right now, he's like, the theater's closed because we're redoing the bathrooms, but when it opens, can you come? And I was like, fuck yeah, I can come. Come hard to your theater. He owns his own fucking trains. Like, and I don't mean like choo choo. I mean choo choo, like a train that you can fucking ride on.
I mean, everybody's got their something.
That's that dragon money right there.
Yeah.
That throny money.
I remember being on a Zoom with him a couple of years ago. I think it was mid-pandemic when I was in early conversations with HBO about potentially doing one of the Game of Thrones spinoffs. And so like, we love you. We want to put you on the Zoom with George to make sure that he signs off. It's like, great. And the entirety of the Zoom with George was like, I was working at Starlog and writing articles about Beauty and the Beast when it was coming out. It's like, oh yeah, I love Starlog magazines. Like, I wrote on Beauty and the Beast. It's like, I know, that's where I know your name from at first, was that. And like, wild cards and like the awesome genre stuff that you've done before Game of Thrones.
You were familiar with Wild Cards?
Yeah.
He loves it. He's so proud of Wild Cards. He's always talking about it. He's like, I was doing comic books for years before like we're popular. I know.
Yeah, we were there. We're old enough. Needless to say, I didn't get that job because he discovered, because I told him, that I never read the Game of Thrones books.
So he's like, nice meeting you. Moving
Yep,
on.
this is a lovely Zoom, but I really think that a person who's going to do one of these shows should have read the books. I said, I was like, listen, like, I can tell you, I think there might be a virtue in not having read the books. But hey, man, these are your toys. You get to decide who wants to play with them and who doesn't. So, thank you, sir. Take care.
Ooh, Banff Man popping in here.
The zinger back could have just been, I've been waiting to get till you had them all written so I could zoom through them.
Yeah, that's a way to ensure you get the job, because you
put it back on him.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets that everywhere, man. I posted, I was like, hey, George R. R. Martin's coming to Smodcastle. And people were like, tell him to stay home and finish his fucking book. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going, welcome into my theater. Like
that seems brusque. But yes, at any rate, Millie Alcock is going to be playing Supergirl, which is based basically on the Tom King, Bilquis Evely miniseries, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It is not clear who the director is going to be. It doesn't seem as if Mr. Gunn is going to be directing this. He's very much focused on Superman Legacy, but he's committed to sort of branching out and giving you the full spectrum of the Kryptonian experience.
I'm here for it. Just hurry up. Tired of talking about this shit.
Make it happen.
Yeah, it's I know they only just started and we had a big strike that we had to sit through, and they're about to start shooting the movie, but it's like, enough talk. Let's see some outfits. Let me wet my beak a little.
Yeah.
Like,
it is
this is nice, but let me see somebody in an outfit. That's coming soon. We'll see it all. Patience, kids.
Yeah, but that is the sort of perils of the open access to the filmmaker, which is like, in the olden days, we'd get no access to anybody and no information about anything until you just saw a trailer. Like, oh shit, I forgot they were shooting that movie. Now we know a lot, and we're getting updates that are not what you want, or at least not the thing. Not giving us a thing, you're telling me about the thing. But yes, and similarly, somebody leaving a superhero movie. Emmy winner Ayo Edebiri is leaving Thunderbolts.
She was going to play Julia Louis-Dreyfus's assistant.
Yes.
Not doing that no more.
Not doing that no more.
She don't need that. She's a fucking huge star, for heaven's sake. She don't need a bit part in a Marvel movie.
I mean, she doesn't, but then again, it'd be a bit part, so it wouldn't require a ton of commitment and time on her part, theoretically. But it's all scheduling. It's all production got pushed because of the strikes, and so the window that she'd had for Thunderbolts has closed, and she's being replaced by a woman named Geraldine Viswanathan, who was on. She's really good, actually, on Miracle Workers. That was on TBS with Daniel Radcliffe.
Nice.
But yeah, and also Lewis Pullman, Bill Pullman's son, who had been in Top Gun Maverick, is replacing, or it's unclear if Stephen Yeun was ever cast. But that is now who's going to be playing Sentry, is Lewis Pullman.
It's once again, I mean, I get it. What we do is talk about things long before they ever happen, but it's like, come on, just fucking show us a movie already.
Just go do the thing.
Yeah, show us Thunderbolts already. We're tired of waiting and stuff.
Yeah. This I think I'm going to classify a little bit as a rumor because the source is somewhat unverified. But according to the website What's on Netflix, the episode of Black Mirror called USS Callister which had starred Jesse Plemons and Nicole Milioti, Kristen Milioti, and Michaela Cole, is getting spun off into a 3-episode miniseries, which will have Jesse Plemons back, Michaela Cole back, Kristen Milioti back, to sort of expand on that particular episode's universe. Which, and again, if you don't remember, USS Callister follows the story of a gaming company's chief technology officer. He's the mastermind behind a popular multiplayer game and has a private copy of it, which he uses to torment his colleagues who fail to show him proper respect in the office. It's very Star Trek. It's very classic Trek, with Jesse Plemons as both the captain and the tormentor. And it's great. It's one of the best Black Mirror episodes ever. So to get a larger version of that story, to get more fucking weird ass Trek in space stuff from Charlie Brooker, yes, please.
Yeah, I'll watch anything Charlie Brooker fucking does. Somebody in chat said one of us has a really boring voice. Marty Landon goes, "This guy's voice is so boring."
Sorry.
Me or you? Who it is?
It's probably me, because he said it while I was talking.
I don't know. I think he might have said, I think he's talking about me, which I really fucking resent the notion that I'm referred to as this guy.
This guy.
You're on literally youtube.com/Kevin Smith. Like,
You didn't get here by accident.
that
Not like you stumbled into a bar on Hollywood Boulevard and was like, what's happening in here?
All right.
Yeah, finally, last bit of news, which I found kind of encouraging.
DIY film said, boring enough for AM radio. Fuck it.
Over to traffic.
We're going to be fucking AM radio rich, kids.
We're going to be drowning in nickels. You wait.
You know that money that the fucking Smartless podcast just got paid by Sirius XM? Peanuts compared to AM radio money that's in our future.
Yeah, AM radio is the Superman 3 grift where we just take half pennies.
Yes. All those half cents will be ours.
Screenwriter David Koepp, who wrote the original Jurassic Park and its sequel, Jurassic Park Lost World. He wrote Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. He wrote the first Spider-Man movie, the original Mission Impossible movie. One of Hollywood's legendary screenwriters has been working on a new Jurassic World movie, with Spielberg to produce, and as well as Frank Marshall. It's unclear what the narrative of this movie is. Of course, they're going to keep this super, super secret, but it is known to be launching a new Jurassic era, per sources, which would seem to rule out the return of Chris Pratt or Bryce Dallas Howard, as well as Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and or Jeff Goldblum. They are soft rebooting it, because why wouldn't you? Everybody fucking likes dinosaurs.
And it's a fucking concept nobody gets tired of. Like, fucking, they shouldn't have done that park, but they did it. Now they're gonna fucking pay.
Won't they ever learn?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't fault them, of course. Like, it's a fucking cash cow for them and stuff. And by starting again without any of the other people, you don't have to pay them legacy cast fucking prices and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I'm not taking anything away from the fucking actors, and like, they bring absolutely something to it, but come on. They're going for the dinosaurs.
Yes, we are not here for the humans. It's the anti-Godzilla Minus One.
Godzilla Minus One did get an Oscar nomination?
It did. Sadly, not for Best Foreign Language Film. But
really shit. I can't believe they didn't run that. I can't believe that wasn't the submission for Japan. Like, fucking, I would have bet the house on that. Like, fucking, what other foreign film was going to beat that in that category? I mean, I'm glad they got nominated for anything, but like, I feel that was an amazing film. Amazing.
Yeah, so strong. I mean, and I saw the it was on X or Blue Sky or wherever it was, the video of the VFX team learning that they got nominated for an Oscar, and it was like the most adorable thing ever, because they're just so fucking excited. Like, never thought we'd be here. We made a Godzilla movie for cheap.
For cheap. They didn't have the fucking money, man. You look at that movie, you don't realize how much money they did it for. It's astounding. When afterwards I was like, how much was it? And I fucking looked how they made it and shit. All love, man. All love. Yeah. Somebody who's like, I know how to do this, make it work. And once again, I've always been that guy that's like, fuck the human story. More monsters beating each other up. Make the movie 45 minutes and just let the monsters fight. This is the first time that I was like, you know what? Can Godzilla get out of the way? Because the human story is really compelling. So
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, man. I mean, I know it's apples and oranges, but like you got a high bar because Godzilla. They should do like Godzilla minus one version of Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park -1.
Exactly. I wonder if they'll go back and tell like an origin story, like fucking John, whatever the fuck.
Young John Hammond.
Yeah. Something like that. But no, because then it's like,
Him hunting for Amber.
yeah, and I guess he could get into some scraps or whatever, some jams. But like, what jam is bigger than like I opened the park and it fucking everything's eating everything else?
It ate everybody.
But good for them. Universal. The headline here, kids. That headline again. Universal still knows how to print money.
They do. $6 billion so far for the Jurassic franchise, and only more coming.
This is why they won't make Twilight of the Mallrats. They're like, have you made us any billions? The dinosaurs made us 6 of them. 6.
Dinosaurs never grow old and they never die.
Truly. All right. Well, there it is. More
There it
fucking
is.
dinosaurs coming our way. Children love a dinosaur.
Fancy that. And that's it for the news, my friend.
Let's throw in shit like Deborah Ann Woll is coming back for Daredevil,
As is Foggy.
as is yes, as you said, Foggy. What is his name?
Eldon something.
Thank you. Elgin something.
Remember
But he
his last
he was wonderful as Foggy, and it felt so bad when you heard they're making Daredevil, but those cats ain't coming back. It's like, how you gonna do without Foggy and Karen Page? And they as we've heard, they pulled everything back and we're redoing it, and now they're doing the right thing and bringing in everybody. They made the Netflix show canon.
name. Yeah.
So I'm
They
here
did.
for it, man. There was other news. Oh, did you see the new Ghostbusters trailer?
I did see the new Ghostbusters trailer.
Doesn't it look like they're doing Ghostbusters the cartoon as a live action movie?
Yeah.
Like, I am fucking there for it, man. That's how they cracked the code this time, where they're like, look, fucking last time we brought back the ghost of fucking Harold Ramis, for heaven's sakes. How do we top that? I think it was fantastic to be like, let's just do an episode of the show, kind of. I can't wait. That looks fun as fuck. And all of our Ghostbuster heroes from our childhood are back.
They are. They are. I mean, it does. There is the weirdness of like either you commit to having new Ghostbusters or you just give us another old Busters. But the weird, like, suddenly we have to give some breathing space for Paul Rudd to kind of just be Paul Rudd. Where I'm like, like my level of interest in the Paul Rudd of it all is not that high. Whereas I dug the kids, and I'm here for Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson. But it's the mid space that's kind of odd.
In chat, they're saying, talk about The Curse. Did you watch The Curse?
I have not watched The Curse. Have you?
Loved it. Loved 9 episodes of it. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, fucking, this is groundbreaking television. And then the 10th episode, I respect what they did, but like, they made a choice. They made a choice that, some people are like, no, it's in keeping with the previous 9. But I'm like, really? I didn't see that coming at all. But it's totally worth your time and watch. I think Nathan Fielder's kind of brilliant. Emma Stone's excellent in it. Benny Safdie's excellent in it. I think, excuse me, I think he's also, because Nathan directed a bunch of episodes, I think he's a very strong director. I was watching his shows and I'm like, I think this guy's a better director than I am. Like, compositionally, the nuance of storytelling through a visual medium. I was very impressed. But yeah, it's a great show if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I owe it to myself.
May leave you being like, fighting with people. in chat, they're going like, it's a Twin Peaks-ish choice. Twin Peaks-ish choice. Absolutely. I would not argue that. I would absolutely co-sign that.
Outstanding. Somebody in chat mentioned the Monkey Man trailer. Did you see that trailer?
I haven't seen it yet. How is it?
It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Dev Patel wrote, stars, and directed it. Um, because I'm sure he was like, nobody's offering me these roles. Nobody's offering me the fucking action hero. Nobody's offering me Dev Wick, and I really want to fucking Dev Wick, and that's the movie. Um, and it looks like both stylized and action heavy and funny and satirical and very specifically kind of a movie for the Indian diaspora in a way that like your average Bollywood movie is not. Um, and apparently Netflix, who had sort of, I guess, commissioned it and produced it, didn't want it because I think there were some cuts that they wanted him to make to play in Netflix India that he was unwilling to make. They gave him the movie back. Jordan Peele saw it, was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it!" Like, and so Monkey Paw picked it up, and Universal's releasing it in April, and it looks great. It looks great, and he looks great. Like, why wouldn't you have given this dude an action movie? He's Oscar nominated. He's fucking Dev Patel. Like, let him do the thing.
Was he in Green Knight?
He was in Green Knight. He was in Lion. He was, of course, in Slumdog Millionaire. Like he's been working for a good decade and a half at just like good shit for a while. And so here for that. Um, Even though our poster for this week was Avatar: The Last Airbender, we haven't talked about that trailer, which I was already a given for that show because
You love the series, the
I
animated series.
love the animated series. I love it, and so
All
it's
right, wait. Head-to-head matchup. Avatar or Blue-Eyed Samurai?
um Avatar only because it got 3 full seasons. It got to do it. It got to tell its story. Whereas Blue Eye Samurai, which I think is again phenomenal, we've only seen a season of it. So there's a chance it falls off the wagon. I'm not sure, but I think that like looking at it, it's giving me big One Piece vibes, which is like based on a long running anime. But it's taking the best lessons from the anime, but also realizing that like this is live action, this is real, this is concessions will need to be made, adaptations will need to be made, but they fucking cast it so well. It looks great. Yeah, man. I of the things I cannot wait for, it is high on the list.
They're asking if we've seen the trailer for Three Body Problem from the Game of Thrones creators. Have you seen the trailer? I did not.
I did. I have no idea what it's about, but then again, I think that might be by design because I think the book that it's based on is very complex and twisty and full of some real heady sci-fi concepts, which don't lend well to like 2 minutes of whiz bang. But I'm for sure curious because for 6 seasons, you know, those guys made great television, great television, and so yeah, and the last season was just okay. So I'm very curious about what they do next.
In chat, they're also asking us about I just missed it. There was something that we might as well weigh in on. Now I can't find it. Oh, awards talk. They want to talk about the Oscars and the snubs. I mean, well, let's talk about the most obvious snub, which I did on the radio last week when I was on KFI AM radio kids, the future of rock and
AM.
We were I talked about, somebody was like, hey, what about Greta Gerwig getting snubbed? I'm old enough to remember when Driving Miss Daisy was nominated for an Oscar, but Bruce Beresford, the director, wasn't. And I remember as a young kid being like, how does that happen? One of the jokes on the Oscars that year was like, Driving Miss Daisy, the movie that drove itself, because the director did not get nominated. I don't think I've ever seen many movies that are as much a product of the filmmaker as the director, particularly as Barbie was. Like the fact that it was nominated for Best Picture and she's not nominated for Best Actor is, aside from the optics of that, just fucking crazy. But it's not like it hasn't happened before. And when it
Mhm.
happens, it's always like crazy. But this is really crazy because it's like she was nominated for fucking Lady Bird. Like, it's not like this is her first dance. They already love her. How did she not get nominated is beyond me. And this is not like, you know, this is a director speaking. I just I can't understand how you could nominate that movie. You could nominate the screenplay, but you're like, you know, I mean, anybody could have done that. It's like, no, that was a singular work of a very particular artist. To me, it's baffling, but you know, at the same time, you're talking to a guy who really doesn't give a fuck about awards. So it's like, you know, but if I'm sure like it would have been like insanely rewarding for Greta Gerwig to be acknowledged by, you know, the Academy for fucking like doing something that was insanely original. She made a fucking toy commercial that like I could watch again and again and again. And that toy commercial had heart and fucking soul and breathed and made you feel and fucking laugh. And like, it was crazy. So I know Margot Robbie.
Mhm. Robbie.
I never remember. Wasn't nominated as well. And honestly, that I'm not saying like, well, of course she wasn't, but that didn't surprise me as much as Greta not getting nominated. For some reason, even though Margot is Barbie, but like even, you know, I'm sure the movie don't exist without Margot either, but it was of a voice of a very particularly strong voice of an artist, and not just in the screenplay department, but also visually, how it lays out like the entire fucking world. Like, I don't know. It just felt weird that she didn't get a nod. But again, you're talking to a guy who's like, fuck them all, like awards. That means it's, you know, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that she has a titanic achievement in cinema, not just modern cinema, but across the 100 years of the fucking form. That movie is a massive accomplishment and just wonderful. It makes you feel good and shit. And this is a byproduct of the Academy. And please don't, I know some people are going to be like, he went on a rant. This is not me. I'm not telling anybody to change a fucking thing. I have no power here. And I'm not saying like, let's write in or some shit like that. It's just weird to me that like somebody who's that distinctive, making a movie that distinctive, doesn't get like shouted out for it. But when you nominate 10 films for Best Picture and only nominate 5 people for Best Director, this is bound to happen. I'm just shocked it happened in this case.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, this is not the first time it's happened.
It's
You know,
happened many,
both
well, not many, but it's happened.
right, for both the director of a film not being nominated, though the picture itself is nominated for Best Picture.
I don't
Ben
think
was not
I
nominated
was
for
just
Best
gonna say
Director.
it. I don't think Ben was nominated for Argo.
He wasn't, and Argo still won, you know, and he was also the producer of it, so he got to give his speech. Barbara Streisand was not nominated for Prince of Tides as director.
Right?
Yeah, although the movie was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, the movie was, but she didn't get nominated.
She didn't get nominated. So like it's not an isolated occurrence. It doesn't quite feel like this weird anti-feminist thing that I think some people have made it out to be. Because like, yeah, but there's another female director nominated in directors. Margot is nominated for Best Producer, for Best Picture, as is Greta. Greta got Best Screenplay. America Ferrera got a Best Supporting Actress nomination. Like, it is not as if the movie went unrecognized at the Oscars. It is just that one that felt like it would be the obvious one.
Luke Skywanker, great name, in chat pointed out the DGA did nominate Greta Gerwig. So the DGA was like, we recognize what
We're
happened.
here for this.
Yeah.
At least the DGA, whatever members of the DGA are also in the Academy, because the directors nominate their peers. It would seem that those two things are not in lockstep. But
I honestly felt like that they would have been kinder to Air. I thought Air was wonderful, and I thought Affleck did a phenomenal job. I was kind of a little disappointed that there was not love for Air. I thought like even though that came out in fucking February or March, I thought like the Academy would remember, but
they almost never do.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, name the movie that came out in February that the Academy remembered the following year.
No, I don't know.
has to do with somebody we spoke very highly of this evening.
Oh yeah, no, I guess it was Silence of the Lambs was a
Came out
February
in
release.
February, and they still remembered in fucking March or April of the next year they fucking won. Like that. That's always the one they point to. Just like when somebody back in the day is like, "We're putting on you're putting your show on mid-season," and you're like, "Mid-season? Nobody watched TV." They're like, "That's where Seinfeld started in mid-season."
Right. I mean, the and listen, Silence of the Lambs is an amazing fucking movie. That was 1994, if I believe, which was a completely different media landscape, and also that movie played in theaters for like 5 months. So it got to ride through the summer and got to end its run in like August, I think. And yeah, but nevertheless, I
Anthony
would.
Zapata in chat says, "Why the disparity between the number of Best Picture and Director nominations?" That happened fairly recently. I believe it was around The Dark Knight is when
Mhm.
the Academy was like, "Look, we nominate 5 movies, and they're generally all prestige movies, and mainstream doesn't get a bite. And we're losing ratings, so let's increase the Best Picture nods to 10 and leave everything else at 5,"
Right.
which honestly doesn't really make a fuck ton of sense.
It's literally like, we just want to give you a thing, viewer, that you have seen in the movies. Basically, it's like the blockbuster addendum. Like, we can nominate popular movies that the viewership will not have had to see this tiny Woody Allen movie or this tiny Iranian movie or this whatever it is. It's like, no, it's fucking Lord of the Rings. It's, Dark Knight. It's, every like 6 years there would be the Titanic or, Avatar or whatever, the big ass movie that was also nominated for a bunch of shit. But for the most part, it's almost never that way. It was like a couple years after The Artist won Best Picture. I'm like, what is this movie? What is this little black and white French movie that's subtitled?
This is something. Look, I don't make fucking Academy worthy shit. Never wanted to. I'm not. I never went into this business for awards or anything like that. In the beginning of my career, they were very nice. Clerks won awards at Cannes. It won 2 awards at Cannes: the Prix de la Jeunesse and the International Critics Week Prize. We won a filmmaker trophy at Sundance and stuff. And I was once told by my publicist at the time that he was told by Writers Guild folks that Chasing Amy, Academy folks, because he worked with the Academy, uh,
Mm.
Chasing Amy came within 2 fucking votes of being in the 5 nominees for screenplay that year. And I was like,
Oh
oh, that's
wow.
fucking badass to hear. But again, was never the aim and stuff. So when I say this doesn't come from any sort of bias, and I'm not saying this. This is why I've never won an Oscar. I've never won an Oscar, and I'll never win an Oscar because I'm not good. I'm not good like enough to win an Oscar. So let's just get that out of the way so I can say this. Winning an Oscar is not always based on merit because there are wonderful films, groundbreaking films that don't get nominated. Um, it is, it has a, it's, there's a lot of campaigning and a lot of money that gets spent to run a film for Best Picture. Like naively years ago, I was like, hey man, Michael Parks gives an Academy Award worthy performance in Red State. Like, can't we run him for an Oscar? Can't we, like, how do you get a guy nominated? And my publicist at the time was just like, I work with the Academy, Kevin, unless you're willing to spend $500,000, you're not even going to come close to the conversation. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, it's a campaign. It's like running for fucking office and stuff like that. And it's not payola. It's not like, oh, you got to pay off people. It's just, it's ads. The only thing that keeps like fucking the Hollywood Reporter and Variety going to this day are those fucking for your consideration ads. That's a huge business for them.
Mhm.
So I'm not, and again, I'm not saying all this to be like, that's why I'll never win. One more time, I'll say it up front so I'm not misquoted online. I will never win anything because I'm not good enough to win a thing. But that being said, even if you're good enough to win a thing, it costs a lot of money to even get into the fucking race. You
Yeah.
have heard the same things? I mean,
It's A, yes, a studio has to be willing to spend the money. But B, it has to be like the Academy Award nominations and wins are reflective of what the Academy wants to say about itself any given year. The narrative it wants to put forth. A great narrative will do more for a thing than the quality will do. It's like Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to win an Oscar this year. Was
Yeah.
his performance in Oppenheimer the best performance? I don't know. It's really good. Is it better than Sterling K. Brown? I don't know. Is it better than anybody else? I'm not sure.
I,
But
I haven't seen the Sterling. I haven't seen American Fiction.
yeah,
I haven't seen it yet. But I will say this: Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, like that, that's what I walked away from Oppenheimer with the most. Like I was like, Jesus, Robert Downey Jr. disappeared and literally became somebody else, and that's hard for a guy who's that identifiable and has been essentially playing a version of himself for the last 10 years in Marvel films and stuff like that. For him to disappear and become somebody else and make me forget that that was Robert Downey Jr., that was fucking impressive.
I mean, and again, not taking anything away from that,
Yeah.
but the Robert Downey Jr. of today running for an Oscar lets the narrative be, here's a guy we've always rooted for. Here's a guy we've always loved. Here's a guy we nominated once too early for Chaplin. Now's his time. It's the we're giving Denzel an Oscar for Training Day instead of for Malcolm X. Like, we realized we should have done it. We fucked it up. Now we'll fix it for him just playing the kind of character we always kind of wanted him to play, which was bad cop, nasty dude, whatever. Jamie Lee Curtis winning an Oscar. She's great in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Is she better than Stephanie Zhu, who played the sort of pivotal character of the movie? I don't think so. But Jamie Lee Curtis, her narrative to getting up to Oscar Gold is amazing. Like, horror queen, Nepo baby who's always made good, like been doing good work for a long time, finally is getting her due. Like, it's the narrative around it. Why does Green Book win? Because Hollywood wants to pretend it understands race. And this is our movie about race in America, and we fixed it, everybody. We just have to be nice to each other, as opposed to other movies about race that never get nominated. You know, like it's always what the narrative around the particular nominee is and what Hollywood decides it wants to say about itself this year, you know? And are you willing to fucking press the flesh? Like, American Fiction is a tiny movie that cost like $12 million that sort of Amazon and MGM bought out of Toronto. But it's been 4 months since that movie premiered in Toronto, and they've been working it hard. They've been going to all these festivals. They've been doing every event. You know, Cord Jefferson, who's a super sweet guy, has been someplace every third day to do some kind of Q&A screening, to do some kind of piece of press, to do some kind of whatever. Same thing with Jeffrey Wright. Same thing with Sterling K. Brown. Like, they've just been out working it, like running for office. And it's hard, but the narrative around that movie is Emmy-winning television writer, voice of a generation, young African-American dude, like, speaks well, very articulate, like all of the sort of buzzworthy dog whistly kind of things about a young black dude who made a movie. Like, he's the next Spike Lee, he's whatever. The narrative is strong. Like, that's what it's about. It's about, can you spend the money and do you have the story? It is rarely about what's the best movie.
Calvin Lemon in chat like made me fucking type while I'm doing the show because I was like, is that true? He said, look at Napoleon Dynamite. Gets Oscar nomination, came close to the Academy Awards, and that was another smaller film. And I was like, did Napoleon Dynamite get nominated for an Academy Award? Did I memory hole that? Like, and I Googled that, and that's not true at all. So does anybody, why did he say that? Is maybe he just thought it did, but it says here,
like, I got close.
It said it won 3 MTV Movie Awards,
which is not insignificant.
It was nominated for an Independent Spirit Award, which makes sense. But let me see. Critics' Choice Award, Satellite Awards, Grammy Awards for soundtrack, the Independent Spirit Awards, the MTV Movie Awards, the Online Critics Society, Sundance Film Festival, Teen Choice Awards, U.S. Comedy Arts Festival, Golden Trailer Awards, Golden Schmoes. Yeah, there's no Academy in here.
Yeah, close. I mean, hey, I got the release
I'm not
date.
saying it's not like a beloved movie, but like I was like, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, I got the release date for Silence of the Lambs wrong. So not everybody's perfect. It's 91, not 94.
John Thompson says MTV Movie Awards is perfect for Barbie, not the Oscars. You're all off your rockers. I mean, look, whether you like Barbie or not, like you have to admit it was a fucking cultural phenomenon. Like shoulder to shoulder with Oppenheimer, so much so that fucking the whole summer was called Barbenheimer, for heaven's sake. You don't have to like the movie, but like it's not like, yeah, that could be on the MTV Movie Awards. Like, no, it definitely deserves to get nominated. Point is, the director should have been nominated as well, but our point was there have been times in the past where that has not been the case.
Right. And so like
Affleck, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, and yeah, like what will happen now is that Barbie will lose Best Picture to Oppenheimer. It will win Best Adapted Screenplay, even though it's not adapted from anything beyond a doll that exists.
And that's also a very tight category as well.
Yeah,
They would have been better off in the Best Original Screenplay category, but they didn't pick it. I think the Academy just shoved it into there.
Yeah, they decided that it was adapted. Which I think American Fiction would have won Best Adapted Screenplay if Barbie hadn't thrown in there. Because that is, again, the kind of that screenplay is always the thing they throw to filmmakers, especially on the come up, to say, we loved your movie. We can't give it the big prizes, but here's like the lower rung of the adult awards. It's not a craft award. It's not a tech award. It's like, no, this is a creative thing. You guys wrote something that's great. So I feel a little bad.
All right. So I think we covered everything that they wanted us to talk about in chat.
Yeah.
And so we finished the news.
Finished the views.
Talked about our views.
Should we do some cues?
We can. Yeah, remind folks, hey, Banff Man, throw up that Ides of Marc, Fat Man Beyond live graphic. Kids, March 15th in the great state of New Jersey, the Garden State, at Smodcastle Cinemas, where they're playing Stripes this week.
Oh, very nice.
Stripes, yes. The Ides of Marc return March 15th. Me and Mark are doing Fat Man Beyond at Smodcastle Cinemas right there in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey. Right after the show, stick around for a free screening, secret screening. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but
Doves may cry.
How could you just leave us standing? Come on. And then next day, there's more Ides of Marc fun with screenings of Blade and screenings of Doomsday. But come see us do Fat Man. You can get tickets right now at smodcastleCinemas.com. Go. We'll wait. We're not saying another fucking word until 100 tickets sell. I'm bored. Let's talk.
So yeah, do we have any cues?
Oh, Bam, man.
We do. Before we go into it,
yeah,
I want to give a shout out to, I think it was Mike, who loves the show, and his wife, who bumped into me at Nordstrom Rack in Burbank. They were super nice. They pretended as if I didn't smell bad because I hadn't showered in a couple days. So shout out to them because they said they've watched the show for years and they love it. So I think it was Mike.
Hey.
Might have been Mike.
Somebody
fucking
else.
But, celebrity sighting. Fucking Banff man.
Also, just because I'm going to promote my own stuff for a second, if you guys want to give us a follow on Instagram and on TikTok, we're doing some really cool stuff. I went through and I went and picked out this, like, every geeky event that's, like, ever happened. So, like, yesterday, did you guys know yesterday was Arthur Curry's in-universe birthday? So we had...
Was it really Aquaman's birthday?
It was Aquaman's birthday. So we're going to be posting about stuff like that. I have dates like Dick Grayson's in-universe birthday, the date that Martha, the Wayne parents were killed, Thomas and Martha Wayne. So we're going to be celebrating all sorts of stuff like that. Superman's birthday. Do you guys know when Superman's in-universe birthday is? Coming up soon. February 29th. Superman was born or was discovered on Leap Day. So we're going to do fun stuff like that. And we have a brand new cocktail menu with some fun stuff.
Did you say cocktail? C-U-C-K? I just want to watch you drink it.
So we've been doing some fun videos. I'll show you guys this. You might think it's cool. This is our new Lord of the Rings drink. and if you hit it with a black light, it glows in the dark. And it has
That's
the script. So a lot of fun stuff there. So anyway, now I've got Q&As for everybody because they have to listen to me
Dixon Sider pointed out in chat that Aquaman 2 cracked 400 million at the box office. Which, you know, is it's a big number. But
it's respectable.
it is, but the first Aquaman was $1 billion. So, but you know, of the year that DC has anyone else cracked 400 million? Like, did Flash, Blue Beetle, Shazam?
Nope.
So that's a big accomplishment for Aquaman, whose birthday just passed, as we heard.
Happy birthday, Aquaman. Superman's next. Actually, I think Batman's birthday is mid-February.
I think it's cool. And you celebrate the birthdays at the bar?
Yeah, we're gonna have birthday parties for everybody, every big character at the bar this year.
That's so clever, kids. If you've never been to the Scum and Villainy Cantina, like, make it a point to get there once in your life, man. There's fun shit like that. That's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
We did karaoke. We had karaoke last night, and we did. Let's see if I still have it. It's not on there. We did. I said, come sing an ocean-related song for Aquaman's birthday. We'll get you a drink. So I suggested like Ocean Avenue from Yellow Card and How Far I'll Go from Moana. A lot of good ocean songs out there. No good Aquaman songs.
Could you have done a Billy Ocean covered Billy Ocean? And
that would have been good.
Queen.
Yes.
So just fun stuff like that. We're gonna have some fun with it. Superman's birthday is also on a karaoke night, Thursday, February 29th. So we're gonna have birthday cake and special drinks and a lot of really good Superman related karaoke songs.
Get your asses to the Scum and Villainy Cantina, kids. Located in Hollywood, California, right on Hollywood Boulevard, man. Where all the stars hang out. Right on Hollywood Boulevard. You're walking down Hollywood Boulevard, you're seeing, hey, there's George Clooney.
Oh my God.
There's Mark Feldman. There's fucking Lindsay Wagner. It's crazy.
Yes, I was sitting at the bar last Wednesday after trivia, speaking of, and Kid from Kid and Play was there. How
at the
cool
bar?
is that? Sitting at the bar next to me. I didn't recognize him because his hair was normal. Or normal for us, unnormal for him. But
you got royalty in that bar.
How cool is that? Yeah, just hanging out at the bar.
Nice.
So
do a little dance, y'all, like this, y'all, like that, y'all. Feel the groove. I feel it, y'all. Make a little love, y'all. Ooh, ah. This party's at the fun house. This party's at the fun.
We had young Han Solo walk in. Alden Ehrenreich walked in one day. I wasn't there, and the employees said, they're like, Alden Ehrenreich walked in, looked around, and just goes, nope, and walked right back out like he didn't know what he was walking into. Can you imagine Han Solo walking into the cantina, and he's just like, nope, not tonight, not doing this.
Oh, man.
All right, let's do questions.
But we scanned his ID at the door, so I know where he lives.
You can find Han Solo.
You should maybe not say that shit out loud, man. I keep a database of all the famous people who come into the bar so I can knock on their doors and leave shit in a bag on their stoops.
I thought, I don't think the audience is ready to watch other people be characters they've known and loved for years. So I think that was kind of one of the problems with that Han Solo movie. That being said, I thought he was great.
I thought he was great too. He was not the problems I had with that movie at all.
I agreed, 100%. He was really good, and I've seen him in other things. He was good in that too.
Good in Oppenheimer.
You know who's fucking good in Oppenheimer and didn't get a nod, but like really is like fucking the glue, and he's playing the fucking Paul Newman part from Fat Man and Little Boy, was Maddie. Matt Damon was so fucking good in Oppenheimer. I wouldn't have given him a nod just because I'm like, wow, that was fucking charming. But I'm biased. But
Yeah,
I liked him a lot in that movie.
yeah. I mean, look at our boy Dave Dismalchin was good. Everybody's good.
Dave Dismalchin's movie's coming soon, man. Late Night with the Devil. Can't
I
wait.
think March or April.
All right, Jason.
Hughes.
All right. Max Flay wanted to know what obscure 80s or 70s cartoon would you want to remake?
I did it. I guess it wasn't so.
That's
that
not
wasn't
really obscure.
Yeah, good point. All right, obscure 70s, 80s cartoon. It's not like I would want to remake it, but I think it's ripe for touching. And that sounds far fucking more disturbing and filthier than I meant.
Hey, are you right?
Yeah, you ripe for touching. It's Star Blazers. We're off to outer space. We're leaving Mother Earth to save the human race. Our Star Blazers. They had a bad guy that kind of was like Darth Vader-esque, had a cool mask. Team, fucking like in space. That you could totally do that today. But let me see. I can do anything. Even like wait till your father gets home. One of the only Hanna-Barbera cartoons to debut in prime time, like the Flintstones. I might go with Star Blazers. I think that could totally transfer over. And I watched a fuck ton of that. Or I was a big fan of the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Oh yeah.
I loved that cartoon, man. I thought it was so cool. Fucking cool stories where like, I guess it's not that different than what they did with the Jumanji movies lately.
Right.
People get kind of sucked into a world and stuff. But yeah, I like they had a cool bad guy. Yeah, Dungeons and Dragons would be a fun one to do as well. What about you, Mark?
I mean, chat seems to want ThunderCats.
Somebody should do ThunderCats, but it should be somebody that knows the lore very well, and that's not me. What
It's
about
also
you?
not obscure. I feel like ThunderCats was huge.
Yeah. If you said Silverhawks, which was like ThunderCats, but what if they were birds? Is way more obscure, but not that one. I was a big fan of Galaxy Rangers, which was like, a little bit X-Men, a little bit Firefly before Firefly, but it was a Western in space. They rode fucking robot horses and shit, and they were just it was all about the frontier and these four, enhanced individuals who got to patrol the frontier and solve crimes every week and deal with rustlers and all that shit. Like, but it was cool. There was a vibe to it that I always dug. Yeah, I think it'd be Galaxy Rangers for me.
Banff man, look up Space Battleship Yamato 3199 because Argo Nut says Space Battleship Yamato 3199 starts in July. Too late, Kevin. Was that the name
different
of
from Star Blazers? I thought those two different things.
I'm saying Space Battleship Yamato remake anime is Be Forever Yamato Rebel sequel.
But that's not Star Blazers.
I don't think that's Star Blazers. Maybe.
It's an interesting question. What makes it difficult is the fact that it has to be obscure.
Right. Because
like naturally we could think of like, oh, this, but it's like, no, it's got to be something that not everyone fucking knew that well.
Yeah.
Silver Cloud has one. Gem.
Oh, well, they just made a movie.
They've done some
3 years ago. Gem and the Holograms.
May I tell you a story?
Tell me a story.
It's now okay to tell, and you know it, kind of, I believe. I wrote a Gem script.
You wrote a draft?
Me and the kid together were hired to write a pilot of a Gem series. Live action. It was when Netflix was like, we're spending crazy money. And it was, I shockingly knew a lot about Gem. Another cartoon that, like Masters, I would watch because it was a Marvel cartoon at the time. Like, it was made by Marvel Productions. They had a credit at the end of it. And it was a very, like, superhero-y oriented, like, dual identities. She runs the record label, but Jerrica is also secretly Gem, the biggest fucking act in the world. And they had their own supervillains with the Misfits and shit like that. And pizzazz. So I did write a Gem script and the pilot of a 10-episode series and stuff. It's not happening. But I had a blast doing it. And the other day I was like, oh, maybe it could be animated, but it would have been an expensive live action show. But I was I was told to write it live action. But you could probably still get away with it animated. Yeah, I would probably Gem didn't leap to mind because I was like, I did that.
Right.
It didn't pan out, but that Gem would be great for fucking. And I don't know if one would consider that as popular as fucking ThunderCats or something. Maybe that is a little more obscure. It's well known, but definitely not as well known as Masters or ThunderCats or fucking Batman, the animated series. There's my show I'd like to redo: Batman the animated.
I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if it's 60s or 70s. It feels like it's late 60s, early 70s, and not obscure, but Johnny Quest feels like it's kind of overdue. A kind of reboot, rehash, refreshing, rejuvenation.
Easy enough to do too. Like terms, like you've got your full mythology right there. I mean, it could be argued that who is doing it on Adult Swim? That cartoon.
Hey, Adventure Brothers.
They're like, hey, we've been doing it for years.
Yeah, except like it stopped being Johnny Quest and became its own weird ass thing after like season 2 or 3, which power to them. They just, I think, got bored doing Johnny Quest and was like, all right, what if there's more things? What if there's henchmen? What if there's all this stuff?
Some good suggestions from the chat. Ready? Yes, Argo Nut says number 1, Star Blazers is the English dub of Space Battleship Yamato. So they are making, which is, I'm all for it. I don't need to make it myself. I'm just glad he's doing it. Ryan Landis suggested Groovy Ghoulies in a heartbeat. Oh my God, I would love to do that. And Ridge Flyer 32 said Space Ghost. Absolutely. I don't know if one would consider that obscure. But Space Ghost would be fucking astounding. You could do a fucking awesome version of modern day Space Ghost.
Yeah. I mean, I want to do Thundar also. I don't know how obscure Thundar is, but
Thundar the Barbarian.
Lords of Light.
With Ookla the Mock.
Which was named after UCLA.
Are you serious?
Yeah. That's where the name comes from.
Wow.
Yeah.
Idea. I always pronounced it Ukla. Ukla. Wow. All right, JC, give us another one.
I love, just real quick, I don't know, because nobody said it. There was like this really obscure cartoon called Galtar and the Golden Lance. That was kind of like a He-Man meets Conan the Barbarian-ish cartoon. And then I think, though, if I could do anything, it would be the Filmation Ghostbusters. Bring back that one with the monkey and the car.
Somebody suggested that they're like Ghostbusters, but with the ape, like which itself based on a live action show.
The question number 2. I've had some time to think about this, so I can lead. Jacob Adcock wanted to know if the 3 of us could collaborate on something besides movies, and I'm assuming a podcast, what would you do? He says, you are also creative, explore your passions, and let us know.
Stage play?
I think we raise a baby.
Oh my God.
That's
3 nerds and a baby.
What a kid we'd raise.
So good.
Oh my God. So well versed in things that aren't real and don't matter. I bet you we could run a good business.
Yeah.
I was gonna say like a restaurant, but I feel like that's too easy. Like it's kind of
You know
like
what we
it's
should
already
do?
there.
What if there was a club that was a bar, but we could also do a show at?
Don't knock it till we try it.
Imagine, imagine, kid. What a weird, interesting question.
I thought
I
it
mean,
would be
what-
fun.
Clearly a comic book, clearly a movie script, a movie. Like me and Mark could write it, and JC could fucking direct it. And JC is also fucking something of a writer himself. Did you like Yoga Hosers, kids? Guess who invented the Bratzies? That was fucking JC.
That guy.
JC once told me a story. Him and Andrew, our beloved Andrew from fucking, when we do the show live, they were talking about a low budget movie they wanted to do where these kids come across all these little Hitler clones, miniature Hitler clones, and it's kind of like Gremlins. And I was like, that's fucking dope. I was like, can I have that? And they're like, I guess. And Yogo's was born.
I mean, I feel like
That version of Yogo's. There was another version of Yogo's that didn't have cool little Bratzies in it. But it started with JC and Andrew and shit. So yeah, and he can write as well. All three of us could write. I'd let him direct though. Although all three of us have directed as well. Speaking of directing,
yes, sir.
when can they watch Splinter? We talked about it a minute ago, but we didn't fucking put up the graphic. Throw up the graphic, JC.
I don't think I gave him a Splinter
I don't
graphic.
have a Splinter graphic.
Well, maybe that's why we didn't put one up, kid. Splinter, tell them what's happening on Friday with Splinter.
Yeah, I mean, I had been thinking about it for a while, what to do with the short now that the sort of festival run is mostly over. There's a couple more festivals we have. We're playing, I think, I don't know if I can announce where yet. I think it's a little bit too early. But there's at the very least two festivals, one on the West Coast, one in the middle of the country, coming up in the next few months. There's a couple more festivals that we're out at. But for the most part, we're kind of done with that circuit. So it's like, what are we going to do with it? Like, where's it going to live? How's it going to exist from now on? And the idea was always like, just fucking make it free on the internet. Like, I don't want to charge people for it. I don't want to make people buy it to stream it. The fan base has been so fucking generous to jump from the beginning of like giving me money to help make it. I don't need to get more money from people. So rather than continue to deliberate on this thing, I just said, you know what? We'll just turn the link live. We'll just turn it public. And so come this Friday, I will gladly promote it. I will gladly share where that link is, but just fuck it. You get to watch it now. If you were not a Kickstarter backer, if you live in the UK or the UAE or Australia, wherever it is, and you have the internet, I don't think we're going to region lock it. So just just enjoy. It's there for everybody now.
Look at that, man. After hearing about it here, after hearing about it for a long time, you're going to see Mark's directorial debut on Friday.
We're doing it.
Tell you where to find it. What is it? What, on your socials and shit?
I'll broadcast on the socials minus Twitter because I don't do that anymore. Although I might just come back just to do that.
Might as well put it up. Let that be your last tweet. Like, hey,
Yeah, look, watch the movie. Here you go.
Film Friday.
Yeah.
As
Film
Brian
Friday.
Christian pointed out, it's Film Friday.
I do feel though, like to the previous question, whatever business we would run together also feels like it would be a reality show.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, amusement park, that's a reality show. We run a cruise ship, that's a reality show. We have a dry cleaner, that's a reality show.
Those cats make money. That's a reliable business right there. People are always getting their shit dirty.
I wanted to see if there's something that we could do that we had no idea how to do, but we just got plopped in it. And also just like given our having lived in Los Angeles for a very long time, I thought it would be fun if we started a NASCAR team. And the three of us were in charge of growing a NASCAR team from like a tiny little, like building the car and finding the driver and it would be a complete reality show. And how awesome would that be? Like we'd be like Ted Lasso of NASCAR.
Can I drive? Because I think I'm a really good driver.
Why not?
You are the most offensive driver I know. So like, let him keep going left and run into people if he has to.
I would enjoy that very much. And plus, I think people would be thrilled that like that fucking he could die at any minute. Oh fucking! But like they'll tune in for that.
Somebody
Yeah.
calls it John Elrod in chat says Days of Blunder.
Oh
All
man.
right. Third
Cool.
question. Answer we this question 3.
In honor of Kev's KFI gig, if you could pair two comic book, this is from Mike's story. If you could pair two comic book characters to have their own morning radio show, who would it be? He would love to see Deadpool and Plastic Man in the morning. Or here.
That's it. Well, those are 2 great polls. So for a Saturday morning cartoon?
Well, no, for
for a
Saturday
radio
morning radio, like a radio show. Like you're driving to work. Who's your morning drive?
Wait, on AM radio?
Yeah,
AM
AM radio.
Who am I doing? I
Two
mean, Batman.
comic book characters.
Batman's been done a bunch now in like audible form. I would happily do the characters I've been involved with in comics. So I would do a Daredevil, I would do a Green Arrow. I would like to do the Question, although the Question is look, every comic book is very visually oriented, but the Question is, fucking that's a real visual gag. So I don't know if that comes through on a radio program. I guess it could, but yeah, I'm Daredevil and Green Arrow. Oh my God, Green Arrow, man. I could be doing not only just the voices, I could be doing like that's an arrow. That kind of shit. Like the human beatbox.
Nice.
What about you?
I mean, I kind of love the idea of like a Rocket and Groot show. Where Groot is just like he's the entirety of the Whack Pack, and it's always just I am Groot is the punchline to every joke. But I think Rocket is a really interesting talk show personality. Guy Gardner would be fun. Ted Kord would be fun. Yeah, that's where I go. I think I go like Rocket and Groot. I think Rocket and Groot would be the names just beg to be in the fucking Whack Pack for somebody. It's a Rocket and Groot hour here on the K1995 AM.
Like just doing a fucking morning radio show, morning zoo type show.
Yeah.
Literally the morning zoo.
The morning zoo.
Rocket and Groot's morning zoo. Oh no, it's Groot, right? So it's Rocket and Groot's morning wood.
Oh.
Nice. We got it.
Just a little bit dirty. I'm sure Disney will let us do it.
Give us our money now.
Yes, we'll take our checks. What about you, Bamf Man?
I think my head immediately goes to Wolverine and Jean Grey, just because I'd love to have that, like, see how much of that sexual tension comes through in the mornings, and then like every time Jean is like, "I had a great weekend, Logan. Scott and I," and he just goes, "Ugh, moving on." Like I just want to see him get frustrated every time she mentions her married life.
I have a pitch. I would like to do a morning radio show, but not with any of the characters per se as the host, but I would play a radio host who lives in either the Marvel or DC universe. So you would do like a 2-hour morning radio show in either Gotham, Metropolis, or just New York City. And as you're just, talking, doing your morning, superheroes are part of your world anyway. You have to fucking talk about them. So you could pull off a pretty, why are we giving this idea away? This is
a great idea.
You didn't hear anything.
The AM genie was never here.
That's something we could, there you go. That's what we could all do together. The fake fucking morning radio show that's set in the world of fucking Marvel or DC or fucking, or everywhere. How about, we don't have to limit it. We could literally do one for every universe. So we could do one for the Sin City universe. We could do one for the fucking, Magnus, Dr. Robot Magnus Fighter universe.
Astro City?
We could do Astro City. We could do Harry Potter. hey man, you're listening to Radio Muggle. Fucking
Welcome to Copyright Infringement, the morning show.
fucking podcast.
You can
What,
talk
we're gonna
ab-
sue us for
yeah.
a free fucking show. Come on, man. This is a good idea right here.
I could be.
This shit writes itself. Ryan Landis just wrote weather report. It looks like Mr. Freeze iced over Gotham again. Like shit like that. Let's
I
do
could
it.
be
That's
the-
what we should do.
The helicopter pilot. Like, let's go to the Chopper 7 to see with Banff Man what's going on up there. And be like, you'll never believe it. The Incredibles have saved the city again.
Brent Age of Grogu has asked, would it be scripted or ad-libbed? I personally hate when things become a job or more work. So I would vote for ad-libbed.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, like, you have a general framework of like, all right, well, today we're going to do fucking Galactus is here. And so it's like, we're talking about fucking, what's on the horizon over there? It's like, I don't know, look like Galactus, what's it like, whatever that is. But yeah, I don't think we need to be like reading scripts and shit.
And we can have obscure guests, man. Like you could pick like a classic fucking title and pick somebody who's in 2 panels who interacts with the fucking hero and be like, we're talking to, fucking this person who met Captain America. Hey man, what was that like? And he tells a story that we know from the comic and shit.
Or, would you believe he's an asshole? He called me the N-word and he didn't even know it was bad.
Oh no, Captain America, man.
It's like he woke up from 1944. We're like, we didn't feel the same way about that word as a white dude in Brooklyn in 1944.
They're not gonna let us do the show, Mark. we gotta make it fun for people.
Would you believe there's a Negro in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D.? What happened?
All right,
Steve.
Comedic aspect to the whole thing as well.
Steve, that's not no. Steve, keep it. We talked about this, Steve.
Think about it, dude. We could have guests. You could have even without going like, ladies and gentlemen, Thanos is here. Just Foggy Nelson. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's not sexy, but it's like he's real. He's in universe, and he would have a perspective.
Here's the hot dog guy set up outside the Daily Bugle. What can you tell us about J. Jonah Jameson? He likes it with everything.
And he can be like, look, I don't know shit about J. Jonah Jameson's an asshole, but you know who rocks? Spider-Man, because he fucking takes a hot dog with his web, makes it himself, and then webs me back $4.
And the hot dog only costs $3.50.
Exactly.
And I keep leaving all these fucking quarters for him to web the change back, and he never does.
You don't leave it. Basically, I've got $300 in tips from fucking Spider-Man. That he pays his fucking bills. Now Daredevil takes and never gives back.
Yeah. Maybe he doesn't know what numbers are on the bills. I'm not really sure. Is it a 1? Is it a 20? We're always going to get something different from that guy.
Super Sean 064 said Ashley Johnson as the waitress in the Avengers being interviewed. Yes, exactly. That kind of thing. Oh my God, I love this idea.
Excellent.
We're here with the owner of the Shawarma restaurant on 53rd and Broadway. Tell us, I mean, your shop almost got demolished.
After the attack on New York, your restaurant was destroyed, but in the aftermath, something special happened, didn't it?
Yes. Thor broke the rest of the restaurant.
Yeah, Thor broke my toilet. He could ship.
But
I wasn't worthy enough to pick it up, so it broke the toilet.
If only he had a tushy.
Nice! Tushy.com, folks. LOTushy.com to get your own tushy. Fucking stick it on your toilet seat and clean your asshole with water. LOTushy.com. I love that 2 questions dovetailed into one another because we were like, I don't know, theme park, I don't know this, I don't know that. This is our real estate, making a goddamn fake morning show in every fictional universe. We only have to do like 10 episodes for the first season. And if people like it, we come back and do more. But think about it. You do fucking Star Trek universe, Star Wars universe, Harry Potter, as previously mentioned. Fucking, we could do Brony Radio, like one episode set in each fucking reality. That'd be dope, man. And we're always the same broadcasters. Like, hey, man, you're listening to fucking, DJ and the Squirrel or whatever. But in each
Castle and McCormick.
and it's like a joke that we keep getting fired and we get new jobs. And you're like, this one's going to be a lot fucking safer. Welcome to Gotham City, kids. I'm fucking.
We're in a different market. What's this market? Let's say we're in the big time, you guys. Gotham City.
Just pointed out we could do it in Masters of the Universe as well. You could do one in Back to the Future. Like something happened at the Twin Pines Mall last night that we should probably talk about. Does anyone remember this being the Lone Pine Mall?
Dude, what if we just showed up on like Friday to the radio, the AM radio show, and just did it? And like didn't say anything.
Done and done. If next time, like fucking they give me like, hey man, can you want to take over 2 days? I'm gonna be like, yeah, but one of those days, we're gonna every drop, every radio break. Let's say it's a 4-hour show, right? 4 hours. So every hour is gonna be a different fucking reality. Like we're broadcasting live from fucking, Bedrock, ladies and gentlemen. Who wouldn't listen to that? Fucking number one, everyone on talk radio would be baffled, and on AM radio listening be like, what did they say radio bedrock? Like what? We're acting like Fred Flintstone's real.
I mean, there's going to be like 7 very confused people in the world.
The retirement homes are going to be like, I knew it was real. I grew up watching Fred and Wilma. I knew they were real.
We're going to get rich off AM radio. You watch. This is the idea.
Yeah, like we're gonna do it for free until somebody pays us, and nobody's gonna pay us.
Nobody else can do this. Copyright fucking Kev, Mark, and JC. This is our idea.
I love it.
Yeah. I felt like Marc Bernardin for a second there, man, where I was like giving away a good idea and then realizing it halfway through, going, shut up.
And then you didn't. You didn't shut up. You kept on going, Kev.
I workshopped it. We blue skied it in front of everybody.
There you go. That's the process.
And now it's a matter of public record, too. So if anybody steals this fucking idea, we did it first.
We did it first.
Is that all we got?
I mean, I think the keg is empty.
Yeah.
Truly is, man. We're now just sucking gas, kids. Did you have a good time? I know I fucking did. Fucking A. You know where you're gonna have a good time? Where else you're gonna have a good time? Ides of Marc, Smodcast Cinemas, March 15th, starting with a live Fat Man on Batman, and then followed by a movie that is when it pours, it rains, and it's not Cocktail. Come see the Ides of Marc. Come see us do Fat Man Beyond live, or come see us do Fat Man Beyond live on a boat. February 23rd, we're on a boat, motherfucker, on a boat. Cruise askew, kids. It's coming your way. You can't stop it. It's going from fucking Miami to the Bahamas, then back to Miami. Happens February 23rd to the 26th. Tickets at cruiseaskew.com. Oh heavens! What about Chronicon, ladies and gentlemen? The just announced Chronicon that's coming to Chicago, October 11th through the 13th, 2024. Man, the very first in real life Chronicon. Get your tickets now. Go to chroniconforreal.com. Man, we're gonna announce all the guests and schedule. I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if Marc Bernardin showed up. Wouldn't be surprised if we were doing Fat Man Beyond there as well.
Neither would I.
Smodcastle Cinemas is where you're going to see Fat Man Beyond. Chicago is where you're going to see Chronicon. And what else do I guess that's about it, right? Oh, look at that. JC put up the Vulgathon poster. Let me tell you a quick little story about Vulgathon. So, we've been doing Vulgathons for years. We started back in 1998. This is the first time we're ever doing it at Smodcastle Cinemas. And so we did a soft opening for Vulgathon. I didn't promote it. I didn't put it up on Twitter. I didn't put it up on Instagram. And quietly sold it out. Like 230 people bought tickets to a $69 event that is basically every VSQ movie in a row from 9 o'clock in the morning till 1 in the morning on Saturday, August 3rd, the day after my birthday. Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Clerks 2, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, Clerks 3. 8 fucking Busque Universe movies back to back to back to back. And it's sold out. But we own a multiplex. So we just put another screen on sale. So the first theater one starts at 9 a.m. Theater 2 will begin at 10 a.m. the program. So tickets on sale right now for Theater 2, man. Scap them up before they're gone. The first theater is a 230-seater. The second theater that we're selling is a 170-seater. So those tickets are going to go fast. I think we've already sold 50 of them. And this is the first time I'm publicly referencing this. And I haven't put it up on my socials yet. But I was so delighted that we sold out of a fucking entire event and I didn't promote it. Normally, I'm the one that's like, hey, did you buy a ticket? Hey, did you buy a ticket? So Vulgathon is going to be fucking fun, man. And now I'm like, there's 7 months till the event happens. I have the secret dream that we can fill all 5 theaters at Vulgathon.
Ooh, nice.
Stagger them each by an hour so that the last one starts. If the first one starts at 9, so it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Like the last one would start at 2 o'clock and go till like 4 in the morning and shit. But anyway, tickets right now at smodcastlecinemas.com. Come spend a day with us in New Jersey. If you make it to the end, I stole the idea that Mark told me about when he did the Marvel marathon. If you made it to the end, they gave you a fucking like a medallion or something.
Yep.
So we're gonna do a challenge coin like these. Like if you're a member of that Kevin Smith club, we've been doing like challenge coins. This one's a Kevolution series, all different looks of me and stuff through the ages. We're gonna do one of these. If you make it to the end,
amazing.
You're gonna walk away with fucking your own Smod Castle Cinemas Vulgathon challenge coin. So tickets on sale right now at smodcastlecinemas.com. Thank you, JC. I completely forgot that I'd sent him the artwork for that as well. Look at that. Don't forget, Masters of the Universe happening right now. Now that we're done, go to Netflix and watch it. People seem to be having a very good time with it, and I'm so delighted by that. Thank you.
And we're never going to get to Masters of the Universe reparations unless you watch all of season 2.
I'm totally telling Teddy about that. I was like, I have the title for 3. Kids, did you have a good time? Well, that's because JC, Banff Man himself, got us to your homes. Give it up for Banff Man, who, like Will Wilkins, the unseen hero of all this, is the person who makes sure we get to you. Banff Man makes sure we get online. Will Wilkins makes sure you see us on YouTube, on Facebook, on anywhere that you can fucking watch the show. But there is no show without the guy in the other box. I'm in the litter box. He's in the other.
I'm in the night country.
Give it up for you are. Is that where you are? I guess it is.
That's where I am. I'm in the Borealis night country.
Borealis behind you. Give it up for marvelous Marc Bernardin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
There it is, kids. There's about almost 3 hours of Fat Man Beyond for you to fucking play around with. What time did we start?
Yeah, about 8:10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2.5 hours. It was a pretty long show.
We went for it.
Yeah, you got some news. You're up to date. You know everything about the culture that pops, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with us. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm Kevin Smith.
I'm Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time, ladies and gentlemen. Same Fat Time Kids. Same Fat Channel. Smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Double Jeff's Kiss, kids. Wow. This is the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith. Cheers,